I'm sure has a ton to say about.
Yeah, we could just move on to the next one, I think.
Oh yeah, this guy's
single
like
thing.
kind of a fluke, right? Kind of a fluke that he got here. Like
He has such a way of exposing the flaws in your gameplay that he makes you feel like a baby. Like he makes you feel like you've never fucking played. You don't deserve to hold the controller.
Yeah.
Can't. We got to talk about the head bobbing too. That's classic.
flow cancel nair, flow cancel nair, flow cancel nair. Like
All right, number 1, the GOAT.
Oh boy.
We're gonna use one word to describe this player, and I'm gonna make it so we all have to say it at the same time. And I have faith that we'll all say it at the same
We're
time.
not all gonna say it at the same time.
On
I have
3.
2 different words in my head.
Do the one that I'm fucking talking about.
That's
You
the
know
boss
it
right
is.
there.
You
I got
know
it. I got it. I
is.
got it.
1, 2, 3. Spacing.
Clutch.
Let's go. Yes, that was my other word. Clutch was my other word.
Clutch.
yes,
I gotta
Yeah.
turn the mic off for myself, bro. Gotta
Huh?
turn it.
Oh no, I want to hear you go off on yourself.
You gotta go first.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
hell
I'm
yeah,
not. Yo, this is the 10th episode. Isn't that crazy?
Woo!
double dig.
Yeah, we're in double digits. We're an official podcast.
Established. I think that's what this means. Hell yeah, dude. You good, Marcus?
I saw that heavy tweet.
That was all our reaction. Dude. Marcus, you fell asleep at the worst time. The tournament actually got so hype as soon as you fell asleep. I was just typing like incoherent things to Marcus, like, and he's just asleep, and I'm like, oh, okay. I literally just started spamming my keyboard at him when like a bunch of the hero shit started happening, and he was just asleep.
I saw the Hero Pac-Man set, but I was like in my bed, like,
Dude, that set was insane,
Oh, okay.
bro.
It was so good.
like.
Dude.
I think, dude, watching Hero play like that, it made me want to play Hero, which is bad. That is not good. That is not a character. The way
Oh my god.
he managed the menu, how fast he read that shit and picked things with a purpose, it was so ridiculous. It was so cool to see that kind of the side skill of reading comprehension at such a high level. Like, it just happened so fast. It was so
Yeah.
impressive and so
He,
fun to watch.
Like, if you watch it, like, at first glance, it low-key feels like it's not even, like, an RNG thing. It feels like he has a flowchart going, because he just, like, gets everything going so smoothly.
That's like the fastest menu shit I've seen.
Yeah,
Ever.
you can definitely manipulate the menu because you can't get the
Oh,
same
yeah.
stuff twice and then blah blah blah. So I'm sure like all that stuff's going through his head as
Yeah.
he's playing.
5-head?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you kind of naturally think all this shit with your character that someone else who doesn't play your character wouldn't think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I see a Ken proxy jab, I know I know like what the flowchart after that is, or I know how to kind of see ahead of that. Whereas someone who doesn't might not have as clear of an idea.
Yeah.
Hero mains, that translates to the fucking list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Like,
lot.
I saw them do, like, they, like, healed twice in a row, and I'm like, okay, you want this for the healing, but also because, like, your menu's
mainly want
your
it.
menu's gonna
Yeah.
be looking nice now.
Yeah. I remember that. That was early hero tech. You get the heal out of there as soon as you
Yeah,
can.
get heal and bounce out of there.
And it was interesting, the thing that I thought was cool, because you think about a hero getting this far in bracket, and it kind of, resurges a lot of those conversations about the RNG and all that stuff that works with
Yeah.
the character. It was a cool design choice to give him kind of shitty spells in there. You know what I mean? Like, if you're off stage and you're smashing, Zoom is broken, by the way, is something I've fully realized, is that shit is just not okay. That is
Yeah.
not okay. But the fact that the one that makes you metal also exists is super funny. Like, Sakurai's like, how do we balance this? They get like fucking Looney Tunes, basically. Like, you might just die instead. So I thought that was an interesting, like, you can't just spam. It's not all good.
I'm
You know what I
pretty
mean?
sure
That's
the
just
odds
cool.
of getting Zoom off stage are like very, like, more than
They're very high.
more than
It's really
more than
high, yeah.
half, like more than 50% chance.
Yeah.
You should
And
be
you
able to
get
flicker
two
the list
chances.
twice, yeah. Yep.
You get 2 chances too, because you can use
Yeah.
you can use menu while you're dropping down, then you can double jump menu,
Yeah.
and then then you're done. Then you're it's over. But,
hmm
but I guess
He
we
did
get
get a-
into our first topic. I don't know when you wanted to start the topic of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top 10, Gavin.
I guess the first thing I want to say is today's the 10th episode, and we were talking about how
Okay.
we feel official. But something that's actually more official than that is that we have the first 9 episodes all on Spotify. If you guys actually want to check that out.
Woo! Let's go.
This is something you guys have been requesting for quite some time,
Yes.
and finally got off our lazy asses and figured it out. So.
Yeah.
So we better see the numbers reflect the requests, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Oh dang, Crunch already had the link. I was just about to share
damn.
it.
Let's go,
Crunch to
Crunch.
God.
I just
Go
now I'm
Crunch.
just mad. Like I'm doing it anyway. But
We have all of the current episodes on there too. I set this up like a couple days ago. I put some of like the artwork on there, so it should be good to go if you guys are interested. We got all the audio files. Like we even cut out all like the intros, and you just get right into it on Spotify. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to check that out. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll probably be in the description and all that. But last week we had Hazmatt on, and we talked about the first half of the top 10, just describing like, you know, some really cool stuff about. Oh my goodness.
That's a way to start it off.
Nans, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much.
Oh, Nans. Sheesh. That's
Okay.
one way to start it up.
We talked about 10 through 6. We'll talk about everyone else, and then we'll talk about the Japanese tournament that happened last night. So some pretty easy topics. Should be able to get through, you know, a couple hours just with those topics alone. Yeah, I think we're good to go now that I got the stuff I wanted to talk about out of the way.
Oh yeah, dude.
oh yeah, we didn't do Meister. We did 10 through 7 last time. True.
Okay, so Meister is 6.
Meister 6, yeah.
Got it.
If you guys want like detailed information on like what we're going, well, one, like the thing we're going over is like essentially their specific player traits, right? Like obviously, the thing that makes like any fighting game really cool, or any form of competition, is like there's like standard ways to play and standard things that are just good, right? But it's like every player has their own like specific niche that like makes them particularly strong, especially with the character they play, right? And Ultimate, obviously, you have a lot of different flavors of characters that you can bring to the table. Might not necessarily be top tier in some players' eyes, but like they like a lot of these players still make those characters work, and a lot of these players make their characters like look top tier, or, you know, like there's so much justification when you watch them play it specifically. So kind of like, I guess, like if we want to be cool, and it's like there's like superpowers, I guess, or just what makes them really, really strong at the game. And you can see like like we'll do a like TLDR of what we've done so far. We've done 10 through 7 so far.
Yeah.
So just you guys can watch that on the previous podcast if you want details. We'll give you a quick TLDR and then we'll jump right into Meister. So
Nice.
Okay, I'll check.
I think 10 is light.
10 was light.
Right, yeah.
So I guess I'll start off with the TLDR. Light, obviously, just in terms of like raw reaction, he's probably the best in the top 10 or one of the best. It's hard to tell. Everyone's reaction is really good, but his reactions for like what it takes to like be good with Fox is insane. Like particularly tech chasing, I'd probably say he's the best tech chaser in top 10. Especially with Fox, the ways Fox tech chases. Like other characters, you can get kills off of tech chasing, but with Fox, like you need to be able to tech chase at a high level to get or at a top level to get kills. So just really like very offensive. He plays very unique in a sense. Like he uses smash stick. A lot of players use tilt stick, stuff like that, especially with Fox. So just very like offensive, very in your face, aggressive, pressure oriented player. And he like essentially like crafted the meta for like Fox at the end of Smash 4 and at the very beginning Ultimate. That play style that he like crafted in Smash 4 is particularly like kind of like how you should be playing Fox in Ultimate. So yeah, it's pretty much light. Obviously, like I said, you know, you can check out the other podcast if you want more detail, but we're just gonna give you guys like a quick TLDR coming into this.
Number 9.
The buzz. The booze.
The defensive juggernaut.
The
Yep.
goat.
The god.
The
He's one of the
goat.
smartest players in the world for sure.
Crazy understanding of neutral, how to play defense, how to get out of disadvantage. Almost impossible to hit. Very consistent.
Consistent's a good one. A good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, one of my favorite players to watch.
Same.
Also kind of a
Top
character
10 / top
specialist.
5 in like since Brawl. Like,
Yeah.
Kind of
What
a
the heck?
character specialist too. Not many. The characters he plays aren't necessarily the most popular either. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty unique character lineup with like Olimar, Rosa. I know he's playing a lot of Min Min as well.
Yep. Yeah, those characters fit his playstyle very well too. Like they kind of
Yeah.
naturally fit what he likes in characters, and then he makes them work. He like you can kind of get this natural flow with these characters where their
Yeah.
defensive style works, but he takes it to like, dude, the stratosphere. Like he just takes
Yeah.
it out of this world. It's insane. That's his ability.
I also remember saying like he really elevates like just a lot of basic techniques, like to the point where a lot of people won't even notice like how great he is at like some of the basics. And then number 8,
Gluto.
The Gluto. I think it came down to the capitalization, right? Like how he could take one hit and just. I think we all are thinking of the same combo right now, basically. Was that Genesis? It was Genesis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On Nairo's Palu, yeah. Yeah. I think capitalization and just complete and best understanding of his character, and how to really make Wario kind of shine. I think
he has so much time with the character. He's really creative. He hits really hard. You know, he's willing to work through a lot of the tough matchups too. So like. You can really like make the most out of your character when you get creative and you really put them in like weird and like difficult situations. And then number 7,
Zackray.
Yep. Oh, okay. We just had the pleasure of watching him last night too, in top 8 of the Japanese tournament.
Yep. Joker, please use your Joker.
Yeah.
But can use like basically any character in the game. I don't even know where to start with, just because of how many characters he plays. Like, where do I start?
Yeah, in my opinion, best R.O.B.
Oh yes, I think
in the world. Doesn't use R.O.B for every matchup, which is smart. But yeah, he like the way he picks up characters. It's at a very fast rate. He can either push the meta for a character. He pushed the meta for Wolf. He was like the first Wolf to really like take it super far, and then like kind of just instantly dropped it, which was weird. I honestly think he should play Wolf more, but I mean that's like another topic. But essentially he's like in some ways similar to Gavin. Gavin has struggles with like when you're too good with too many characters. Obviously not a lot of you in chat probably have this issue, but yeah, very few people on this planet have this issue. I'm keeping it real.
Shots fired at the chat.
Like, I'm just saying, dude. But yeah, Zackray has a similar problem, but like it might even be worse because like he plays like a huge variety of characters. I don't know if he's just experimenting at some of these like Japan tournaments, but he plays like a crazy amount. So it's like kind of like streamlining it could be an issue for him, like maybe one of his like weaknesses, but it's also one of his strengths that he can like kind of pick up a character really quick, apply it in tournament very fast. And I mean just clearly, like throughout Ultimate's lifespan, I think it's kind of agreed upon that he's Japan's #1 player. So that in itself is really strong to be like that good in that small of a region. So incredible player, very young, and just has so much potential.
Yeah, I think potential's the word there for sure.
I've heard that R.O.B is his favorite.
Dude, his R.O.B is like he makes R.O.B look so fast.
I can definitely see it in the gameplay. So that's very interesting and cool to know. And then I guess we're getting into the ones we haven't talked about yet. Number 6 is Maister.
Yeah, I
probably
think
the number 1 character specialist in the top 10. And if in terms of the definition of a character specialist,
yes, the definition of character specialist. Yeah,
because Game & Watch isn't like you have Gluto, but Game & Watch is like more of an anti-meta like character and like a little bit weirder. Like Wario is an actual meta character that like a lot of people play, and then Game & Watch is kind of like a bit more of a left field pick, especially in terms of a top 10 list, and considering like it's the only character he's really played most of the time.
Yeah, and so many Game & Watch mains just straight up gave up on Game & Watch. I think a lot of the change to the fair and the change to the way his up smash worked, I think going from Smash 4 to Ultimate really turned off a lot of Game & Watch players from playing him. But Maister, like, he was quiet at the beginning of Ultimate, and now obviously he's just an enormous threat. And a huge thing is that Game & Watch does so well against some top tier threats such as Peach and Pikachu. Like, he does so well. He's an anti-meta character. Maister himself has changed the meta of the game by sticking with Game & Watch. Like, if Maister went and he became a Lucina main or whatever, he'd still do great. But he changed the damn game. Like, everyone has to learn how to fight Game & Watch now. If you want to make top 8, if you want to win a tournament, you have to know how to fight Game & Watch, or
you have to consider it every time.
he changed the damn game just through his kind of determination and his commitment to the character, which is honestly commendable. And I think he kind of has a Dabuz-like quality to him too, where he plays kind of this big defensive kind of game, but at the same time, there's a lot of small aspects to it that you really need to come to appreciate, or you're just going to keep losing to him or not know kind of what to expect from him and his character. So I respect him a ton because he stuck with Game & Watch when it would have been really easy to drop him, and now he's really reaping the rewards from that labor there. So
yeah, the advantage state every opening is like,
bro,
it's kind of crazy that sometimes
he doesn't miss.
Sometimes 80 to 100% is the minimum. Like,
bro,
holy shit!
He'll hit you with like a stray hit of like up air one. It just like caught your jump or something, and he'll convert that into like your stock, and you're just like, what? All I did was jump, and now I'm dead. Like, I was just playing neutral. I got clipped. Oh, all right, next stock. Like,
it's kind of crazy considering like the bulk of the damage is like during the juggles and the combos, and then like you're like, okay, I'll go to the ledge now. Like I'll take the L and go to the ledge. Okay, you lose.
So sometimes you watch him play, and like if you're watching, you're like, what the hell is the other player supposed to do?
Exactly.
Like, he locks the game down so tight. It's like, what are they supposed to do now? It seems impossible, which is so funny considering the character was barely considered a mid-tier on initial impressions. So he's nuts, man. He literally changed the way people look at the game, which is insane.
He's definitely one of the best people at like making it a one-player game. Like, sometimes it just feels like he's the only one playing, and you're like, well, I'll get to play at some point, but then you realize you don't get to play at some point, and then you wait until the next game. You're at the character select screen again. You're like, what? Do I even want to keep playing? Do I even want to keep playing against this? Like,
so squad strike, or if we get some more characters on the board, something like that. Nope. All right.
Do we have character bans in Smash now? I banned Game & Watch.
that MOBA meta.
What were you saying, Charles?
Yeah, I respect Maister so much because everyone thought Game & Watch was just bad in the beginning, like really bad. And I'm talking like first 3 months of Ultimate, maybe even 6. It was a while. A lot of people don't realize that Maister wasn't even top 50 on the first season of the PGR. So he went from unranked or like not top 50 to top 10, which I think is almost top 5. I don't know if anyone had a bigger jump. I think that is the biggest jump in history of like, even if you include Smash 4, I don't know if there's been anyone that's like been not top 50 right into top 10. I don't like, even if you include Smash 4, definitely in Ultimate for sure. The amount of resilience it takes to do that is insane. To believe in your character that much when everyone else is telling you, like every other top player, every other like analyst, commentator, or whatever is like just saying like, oh, this character is bad. The reworks were horrible. Like, you can hit anything out of fair because the Game & Watch got like revamped. Like, it is a very Game & Watch is a very different character. Maister still, he mained Game & Watch in 4, but like he had to relearn his character because they reworked so many things about him, like the down smash berries, the forward air is completely changed, even things like down tilt,
up smash,
up air.
Huge.
You don't toot anymore. The up smash changes, right? Like, so many things got changed about this character, and he literally went through all of it, took the L's in the beginning, and really mastered, and he like essentially created the Game & Watch meta. And on top of that, made Game & Watch like from a bottom tier, like whatever, like I just hope I don't play like some random Game & Watch because like I just don't know the matchup. Like the only reason why I lose the Game & Watch is I don't know the matchup, to like learning, like he changed that to I better learn the Game & Watch matchup because Game & Watch is a relevant character. There's a relevant player that plays Game & Watch, and like if I don't know this matchup, I'm gonna get screwed over. And like he totally changed the game. His advantage state is probably one of the best advantage states, like just period. Very, very consistent. The way he positions his up airs is insane. He makes up air look like extremely broken. I obviously think it's just an extremely broken move, but like he makes it look so crazy. And when you look at his Game & Watch compared to other Game & Watches, I think the biggest glaring factor is like Maister's advantage state is just clear cut, like levels beyond levels better than every other Game & Watch on this planet.
That's the number one thing for sure.
Yeah.
Well, dude, with Game & Watch too, I feel like you can find some consistency with him because until you run into some of his bad matchups, which he does obviously have bad matchups as well.
Yes.
But dude, you can't fight him off stage. Like how you can't. It's tough to cheese stocks off of him because it's tough to get a lot of good combos on the characters because he has so many good combo breaking tools, mostly up B. But also you can't challenge him off stage, so you're earning your stocks against him. And Maister really makes you feel that. Like you really need to fight him and earn everything against him. It's hard.
There's a
it's
handful
hard to fight
of characters like that where their weight isn't even too relevant. So like
I've seen Maister live to 180 all the time.
Yeah, if you're not edge guardable essentially in most situations, like that's one situation to take off the list, and like your weight becomes a lot less relevant.
And Game & Watch probably has the best neutral getup in the game in terms of like not
too.
just even based off numbers, it's based off of the animation. So what makes ledge trapping Game & Watch very, very difficult, a lot of people don't even know this, but whenever a character does an animation for a getup option, like normal getup, like jump, like roll, it's all the same animation every single time. And there's even top players, whether they know it or not, they are ledge trapping and they're reacting to the animations, right? Like, so let's say if Diddy Kong does a normal getup, I don't even know what the animation is, but like let's say if he starts his normal getup, he puts his left hand up and over, grabs the stage and like pulls himself up, like that could specifically be normal getup, right? And players can like use that as a reaction tool. Or like let's say his roll, he like brings up his right arm, he shoulder tucks in, and then he rolls. Like you would already know at the shoulder tuck that he's going to roll, and then you could like drop your shield within that and then like get an up smash or whatnot, right? Game & Watch does not have an animation because he's just 2D, right? Like he literally like he's hanging on the ledge and then he's just at normal getup.
He's just a guy.
So like the frame data is still the same, but there's no like
visual cue
to react to. So it is harder to react. I almost want to say like Game & Watch normal getup is almost unreactable, or is like it's like reactable in a sense like as the same as jump, where like you see the character like you see some type of animation on the ledge and you just have to guess jump, right? Like, oh, I think that's a jump, and then just like throw it out, and then if it's not, then whatever, right? So Maister definitely uses those two things particularly to live extremely long, which is why, you know, the only place where it really feels like you can get a kill on Game & Watch, like consistently at least, is in neutral, which is why I think sword characters are really good, right? Like you can just like keep playing that neutral, go for that one stray hit that gets the kill. Those kind of tools, or grab. If you can kill or get a lot of damage off of grab, I think that's a very strong thing to have against Game & Watch. But yeah, I mean, it's just Maister's just one of those stories because like you said, Gluto is still a character specialist, obviously, right? But he wasn't a character specialist that started off in the dirt at the beginning of the game, right? Like right at the start of the game, it was very clear whether you thought Wario was high tier or top tier. Like it was one of the two, right? Like you just saw his tools and you're like, okay, like things are stringing together. Like this character's obviously going to be impactful in the meta, right? But like Game & Watch, everyone just thought very lowly of. So it was really cool to watch like Maister's journey of just like believing in his character and taking it all the way, you know. And it could really give inspiration to all those people on Twitter that, you know, your Avi is Robin and your name is Robin is high tier, like, you know,
Robin rules.
Right, exactly. Like Maister was that in the beginning. I mean, I don't think he took it that far in terms of his Twitter name and Avi, but you know what I mean. Like he just like believed in his character and he took it all the ways, which is like super sick.
And kind of on that note, like if you don't believe in your character, what the fuck are you doing playing them? You know what I mean? And obviously you get taken to extremes where it's like you're kind of delusional, but at the same time, it's like, dude, I think a part of reaching that top level, there's got to be a little delusion. Like I could do this, and it's like, well, shit, this grind is hard. And that character, who knows? You got to have a little bit of that extra special belief in what you're doing in order to achieve what you did. And Maister obviously did that. Change the game. The Game & Watch is a threat. That was never a thing before at Maister, and I don't think it would have been if it wasn't for Maister, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe once in a while you see one pop up, but he's the game right there. He is the game.
So number 5 is Mars?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while since I looked at like the PGR or anything, so
yeah.
The top 10 list, yeah.
I'm sure has a ton to say about
me. We could just move on to the next one, I think.
Yeah, this guy's like kind of a fluke, right? Kind of a fluke that he got here, like.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat says ZSS sucks, you're banned. Okay, I can't handle that shit. He posts that shit on his YouTube. You see that? He has the polls. Like, who's better, ZSS or like it'll say like Robin, and it'll be like 85 to 15 with 50,000 votes. I'm like, what is going on here? This is brainwashing in real time.
How did you do that?
Okay. He's ridiculous. It's pretty good. So, man, all right. Mars. All right, for real. No one show him this episode, by the way, because I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
He starts quoting this shit. But he has, in my opinion, and I think you'll agree, Tweek, or anyone who's really played him, he has such a way of exposing the flaws in your gameplay that he makes you feel like a baby. Like he makes you feel like you've never fucking played. You don't deserve to hold the controller because you pick one thing, and Zero Suit is such a character that can do this. For all the ZSX shit that he says, he'll Nair flip kick you for making one mistake at 20. You're like, oh, I guess I just lost a stock because I rolled one time, and that's it. Like he'll notice it after one stock, and you never do that again. But then he knows you're not going to roll again. He knows you're going to hold shield, and he'll grab you, and then you just feel even worse.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, his best thing, and the thing that Zero Suit really helps him achieve, is he's really good at noticing your habits, especially defensively, especially your defensive habits, and he's not afraid. That's why sometimes he'll pull the trigger on like a random down air or something. You're like, what the hell was he thinking there? It's because he saw something. Yeah, he saw something you're thinking about doing, and he's making a hard call out all the time. So he'll lead you a lot of the way. He like leads. It's like leading a horse to water. Like he'll lead you there, and then he'll just boom. That's it. Like he'll slap you for doing exactly what he's kind of conditioning you to do. So he's just incredible at it. He just has a way of dominating the game sometimes. He'll 3-stock everybody on this list. It can happen at any point. So he's phenomenal. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think something that I really want to, make a point of is what you're talking about, where like exploiting like people's habits and whatnot. Like he'll do that with every character too. It's not Zero Suit.
Yes.
It's him. He'll make you feel like a baby, like you said, with any other character too. So it's like he's just for real. Like he's just that good.
Yeah, dude, I love Mars. He has the craziest game sense. Like,
yeah,
you'll play with him, and he'll be like, hey, you just want to go like random, and you'll be like, yeah, sure. Like we're on the same level. Not me.
2 games
that,
go by, and
maybe,
one tear is going down your face.
Yeah, exactly. Play a couple of games. Like, dude, can we go back to mains? Like, I'm getting shit on. Like, what's going on? That dude, he just understands. It feels like he just understands people.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I don't know if it's within the game, but like he can just like feel what you're gonna do. It's all like intuitive to him. It's just like, oh, this person's gonna do this, and you're just like, what? He'll be
they're
like
scared, they're desperate, just kind of getting those feelings out.
Like you'll watch him and you'll be like, okay, why did he just do triple empty hop in my face and then grab? Like that makes no sense. But you're stuck in shield that whole time because you're like, yo, he keeps jumping, and he just knows. He's like, you know what, this is the time. Or he'll do like he'll do like spot dodge, roll, turn around, down smash, and you roll into it, and you're like, that doesn't even make sense.
Did you roll for me? Did you make me?
Did you make me roll? But he just gets it. Like I don't know. He's just really good at understanding like what people want and how they feel in the moment.
He's really quick on the pickup too. Like it doesn't take him long to realize what your habits are, and that's why you see him. Yeah. That's why you see him obliterate people in pools. Like you'll see him. It's like, oh, this poor round 2 Lucas or whatever. Like, oh shit, it's not gonna look good. He might go like his 8th character on you and 3-stock you. Like just because it doesn't matter what character he picks, because if he knows what you're gonna do, it doesn't
matter. Yeah, like,
exactly.
What the first time I played Mars and Friendly is in Ultimate. This was okay. So like this was like within the first like 3 or 6 months or so, but like dude, it's him and Light play particularly like very fast. I think that's one of their strongest traits. I don't know if it's like a general New England thing or like it's probably like those two particularly just do it because they play with that pace with each other all the time. Mars versus Light are always banger sets. They just play really quick. It's just really, really fast. It's fun. Funnily enough, Mars has actually told me that he thinks his reaction time is really bad. When you watch Mars play, you would probably think differently. And we keep talking about game sense. And yeah, I remember talking to Mars, and he was just like, yeah, a lot of people think my reaction time is godlike, but I'm just really good at making really good guesses. Like he's just going for hard reads. That's his. He explains his playstyle as like, yeah, I'm just hard reading my opponent all the time. And but like because he says that because he thinks he doesn't like believe in his reaction time. He feels like his reaction time's not good. But I also think it's like one of his strengths too, right? Like he can just kind of like that adaptation rate in terms of just like knowing how you're generally feeling. Because when you're playing Smash, I'm like a firm believer of this. Like your personality, your like emotions, like are getting put onto the screen. Like that, I'm like a sole believer of that. And like when you do things like panic options or like desperate options, like desperately swinging or desperately going for like some kind of panic defensive option, like a directional air dodge and stuff. It's like though. Like Mars being able to catch on to those feelings, like that's how he's able to just pretty much do whatever he wants and like get all those crazy hard reads because he knows exactly how you want to approach the situation that's coming up. And another thing too is I've never like there's not a lot of players out there that can make me feel like I'm just not playing fast enough. I love playing fast. Like I really, really like doing that. And like I grew up in Hawaii. Like that meta is like very aggressive. Like I practice with Void. Like in terms of like how much time I've played the game, in terms of like game hours, like I've probably played the most with Void. Void likes to play very, very fast, and we'll even like my favorite times playing the game is when it's like, oh, my opponent's trying to play fast and I'm trying to play fast. Like we're just trying to like play super fast, right? Mars and Light are like some of the few players that I could not keep up with in terms of sheer speed. Like I'm like, wow, we're playing the game and like I cannot keep up with you speed wise, so I'm forced to use options to attempt to slow the pacing of the game down. You usually, and other top players probably can relate, or not top players, I'm not a top player. Top players can relate in a sense where it's like when you're playing against Mars and Light, you usually have to use tools to slow the game down because they are very strong when the pacing of the game is very fast. Which is why it's like Light versus Mars are always
I
banger
hate
sets
playing them in doubles because of that. I hate
Yeah.
They
I hate
are
it. It's not fun.
broken in doubles. Like
I don't know what to do when unless I'm teaming with one of them, I give up.
And it's weird because like they play Fox and Zero Suit, who are traditionally not like super strong double characters.
Teams,
and they, oh my, it feels like they rehearse. It feels like they rehearse what they're gonna do. But when I watch it later, I'm like, they just came up with that on the spot. Like there's no way that they knew. There's no way.
It's that game sense, and I think a lot of it too, Charles. It's a good call out because he doesn't have great reaction time. He's done like those stupid tests online. But the thing about reaction time, and he does his work here too, which is really good. He does his homework. He plays the game a lot. He looks at the characters and understands how they work. He gets hit by things and goes, I don't want to get hit by that again, and figures out how to work around it. But instead of just being like, I'm going to react to this option, he knows what to look for instead. Whether it's the person goes to that option a lot or the character has that option as a popular thing. So instead of having the amazing just reaction time as like a super trait, he does the work and he knows what to look for. And that cuts down on reaction time a lot. And I think that's what helps him out a lot as a player. In terms of him and Light, they don't play that often. Like Light lives in Connecticut, he's about 3 hours away. We're in New England, obviously, and love having Light come to locals and play at regionals and stuff, but it doesn't happen too often. So
more
all
of a
that
regional
shit
thing.
Yeah.
Like regionals and stuff. Like
all that shit that Marcus said about them in doubles, it's all made up. Both of them have incredible game sense, and they both play well. Both their characters have some of the fastest initial dashes in the game too, which really helps in doubles, even if the characters aren't that good. That does help with their kind of flickery kind of play style where they can run and cover each other. They prioritize the right shit in doubles too. Like they're just really, really good doubles players. But yeah, I think the game sense between the two of them and understanding the flow of the game and what players look for and what characters look for, I think helps them both out a lot. But especially Mars, especially Mars.
Okay.
Yeah. Enough of that.
Mars is quick.
Yeah.
Number
I'm about to
4.
throw up if I have to talk nice about him anymore.
Oh yeah, I don't want to just skip to the next player unless we have more things to say.
I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing I want to say before we go into the next player is like if you feel like you don't have good reaction time, don't make that discourage you. I've had players come up to me and they're like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna quit because like my I don't think my reaction time's like good enough for fighting games or for Smash or whatever. Like, do not believe that. I know a ton of players that like right off the rip their reaction time was bad, and like I've played players that like on paper like we both take a reaction test and like their reaction's better, but I react better than them in Smash because it's not all about just sheer reaction time. It's like what Haz was saying, like being comfortable and like going through the same situation over and over. Like you're just gonna be ready. You don't have to have like baseline good reaction time to be good at fighting games. And I think there's so many players in the top 10 that like show that off like through their playstyle, and it's like really sick to watch.
Yeah. Like being prepared goes a long way. I think everyone on this list has done high levels of preparation, of course, and understanding of the game and what to look for. But yeah.
That's facts, Charles. My reaction time is actually complete dog. It's really bad.
I've gone back and forth with like what I think about my reaction times to the point where I just give up. I don't know.
I just play Smash a lot.
I don't even know anymore, so I don't even worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is Nairo, right? Or am I thinking of okay? I don't even know this PGR anymore.
Yeah. Which he moved up to. Go ahead.
Nairo, for me personally, I think one of his biggest strengths is him portraying the feeling that he wants you dead.
Yeah.
Like it feels like.
I'm glad you're saying that because I'm definitely gonna expand on that for sure.
It feels like everything he does is with an intent to kill you. Even if he's dashing back, it's like dash back, they gonna move forward, they're dead. Like he is trying to end your soul. He will go super deep off stage and you're like, you're not coming all the way out here. All right.
He's out here, what the heck?
It is insane that he pushes like edge guarding really far, which is not not something I see a lot of players, especially if they played a lot of Smash 4, they started in Smash 4, do, because they normally prefer ledge trapping, but no, he wants to end your stock. He's really good at edge guarding and just like
he's very willing to do it too.
Yeah, and he also like sets up a lot of situations in advantage state, like if he like decides to edge guard, to where he'll capitalize in that in the future. Like he'll like, one big thing that I noticed is he would always jump facing backward with Palu because he wanted you to jump, and if he ever noticed that you jumped at one time, he'll just jump facing backward, and then you'll jump, and he'll just jump and up at you. Like, and it looks so small, but like I will watch other Palus, and none of them do it. Not none of them, but they rarely do it. Like they rarely set up that situation, but he like constantly sets it up with like the aggression that he puts off stage. It's like really, really strange. And then like
that's wrong is because back air kills, right? So it's like the intent behind it is like that's some top player shit where it's just like, yeah, you're positioning for a double jump read into up air, but the fact that it's turned around and the fact that the threat of Rising Bear is there, that's what forced him, because Rising Fair probably wouldn't have killed in that situation. Right. And if you see that, you'll be like, I'll take the fair, I'll save my double jump, right? Like that's cool. But like if you can't take the back air because you lose the stock, that's when you feel forced, because you feel threatened of losing your stock, where you burn your most valuable resource being double jump, then you get to read, right? So it's like the intent behind that is just like that's top level offense, right?
Yep. And then the layer is even deeper because like, all right, you're at I can't get hit by the back air, can't use my double jump, I'll get up air, I'm just gonna air dodge, and then he down air spikes you, and you're like, there's no option. There's no winning in this situation.
He pressures so fast too. That's another player that plays. Nairo plays very, very fast.
Like he makes you feel like you have no options and disadvantage, and it's insane.
Yeah, I think you said it really well too, Marcus, where the first thing I always think of with Nairo is offstage aggression, which I think he's gotten from being a top brawl player. Like going offstage and brawl is a big thing, especially Meta Knight. You know, you got a million resources to make it there and back again. But with him, when I really started noticing it was, I think it was SmashCon, he was playing Mars, and I'd never really seen anyone challenge Zero Suit off stage. It's a really hard thing to do. You have to really understand how flip jump works and how to challenge the character. I watched Nairo take Mars' stocks off stage with Palu against Zero Suit, and I was like, wow, it's possible to challenge her out there. Wow, I learned so much on how to fight flip jump from just that one set watching Nairo. Like just understand, obviously he knows Zero Suit really well, but his idea and understanding of how to fight people while they're off stage is just incredible. I don't think anyone beats him at that, honestly. And I think that's part of the reason why Palu has stuck around with him for so long. And why his Ganon worked early on. He was not afraid to get out there, get in your face and fuck you up. Like it was just, he's so good at it. I think that's his best thing. And I think that's why he goes for it all the time. He finds so much success off stage, but he's also a great ledge trapper too. He's not afraid to let you go back to the ledge and be like, all right, whatever, let's rinse and repeat this and keep going.
Yeah, something I always noticed with Nairo is it's kind of similar to Mars but in a little different of a way. Like where Mars kind of like exploits habits, picks up on them really fast. I feel like with Nairo, it's more so he forces you into doing very exploitable things just with his crazy pressure and how fast he plays. It's very similar, but like it's like a different flavor of it. Like I find like even myself or like a bunch of top players, like any level of player, he makes you do extremely basic exploitable options when he's so fast. The pressure is so crazy. I think that's the number one thing I always notice. It feels like when I play against Nairo, like the level of my play is like taken down a notch every time, and it's like am I genuinely that scared, or is he that fast? Like it's just a mix of everything, I guess. Like it's another one of those things where it feels so basic at first glance, but it's just the sheer mastery of it, you know.
Yeah, I think it's what the buzz is in defense, Nairo is in offense.
Yes.
I think that's a very good way to put it. In terms of top 10, like I think Nairo has the best offense because like obviously everyone has to have good offense at that level to like succeed, but Nairo showcases it off the most and he abuses it the most. It's his biggest strength for sure. And it's such a weird mix because like it's not only the way Nairo like executes the punish, right? It's like the way he pre-positions himself. That's where all these mind games come in. And then like it's also it's kind of like it's like the conditioning outside of the game too, because you either watch him and watch his punish game off stage, right? Or even like the first couple stocks, he'll just showcase it to you like, yeah, I'll kill you at 30, like off stage. I'll get the hard read and I will literally shit on your soul. And like that's gonna carry over into like future tournaments, future games, like future stocks in that game, right? And like it's all this like conditioning pressure that's going on, and then like the way he's pre-positioning himself, what he's showing you, and then he just like combines all of that, and that's just it's one of the most like beautiful offenses to watch in Smash Bros like history. And like, you know, I've been watching it since like Brawl, like watching what he did with Meta Knight. His Meta Knight, in my opinion, was like the funnest to watch by far. Meta Knight, before Nairo played Meta Knight in Brawl, I would say like it was still super fun and hyped to watch other Meta Knights because of the sheer options the character had. But he brought out like, because like most players, it was like really quick, but it was more like kind of quick, but more on the defensive side. But Nairo like showcased the character where it's like, oh, this is super fast, and this is how you can use them like offensively, right? Like just sheer like just going in. I'm gonna use all of Meta Knight's like incredible broken tools instead of going on like using these tools more defensively. I'm gonna use them like hyper offensively, and like this is what the character can do with that kind of option, and it was super fun to watch. And then obviously like every game afterwards, just a consistent top 5, top 10 player, just like the buzz in every game, you know, when he started. So just, you know, very, very experienced. And like I said, just that offense is literally like over a decade of just like in the works. It's so sick. It's so sick to watch. And you know, he's definitely one of the funnest like players to watch for sure because of that, right? Like a lot of people just like, for the most part, they see like, ooh, offense, like pretty, like right, like there's definitely beauty in defensive play as well, but like you know, obviously majority of people like watching offense. So super sick player.
Yeah, I think that was well said. I think it's kind of how everyone, it's like, I want to be a top player. It's like, well, who do you want to play like? And I feel like that answer is usually Nairo. You know what I mean? Like just the way that he pushes pressure, offense, like those are kind of the keys that we keep hitting on here. So yeah. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everything with Nairo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely just offense.
Bloodlust and destruction. Like so good at it, dude.
Just the pressure, like you guys said, the pressure that he puts on people is he makes people crack, which is insane.
Beat another top 10 player with Ganon. Like who does that? Who does that? You have to.
That was a recipe for disaster because Fox is so bad off stage, and Nairo is obviously like so good at being
right. But like that's still impressive. Like it's like that's still like crazy. Like I still like Fox just still beats Ganon. Like you know, like Ganon does not by any means beat Fox whatsoever. But like the fact that he was able to pull that off in tournament with the reverse 3-0, like that's fucking crazy. That's insane. Like to just beat the best Fox in the world 3 games in a row without losing a single game. Like you got it, bro.
Yeah, and again, Ganon is just one of those characters that has the tools that Nairo can. Ganon can put pressure on you, and this was early on too, so it was a little easier to put pressure on with Ganon. Right. Quite understand spacing all that stuff, which helped. But still, not the fact that he has like the command grab and then could just kill you off in tech chase, the new sword forward smash that just like hits all around him, like all these reads that he had on light and killed him at 50 so many times. Like it was ridiculous. It was insane.
I gotta turn the mic off for myself, bro. Gotta
Huh?
turn it.
Oh no, I want to hear you go off on yourself.
You gotta go first.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
hell
I'm
yeah,
not.
I honestly want to hear it.
When we first did this, I kind of like forgot that we're gonna get to this point.
You are indeed
You're a top
in these
player.
rankings.
I'm turning the mic and camera off. You know, I can't.
Oh no.
You guys can
He's
say
camera shy now.
You guys can say whatever bad things you want about me. I'll leave.
I'm actually glad he's doing this then.
Yeah,
That makes it
same.
a
'Cause
little
I was
awkward.
about to...
Oh, I was joking, bro.
Alright, Tweek, go in, dude.
No.
Marcus.
I'm actually I'm.
Okay.
Okay.
We can go to
Marcus,
number
go
two.
in.
We can go to number
I'll
two,
go
bro.
first. I'll go first. Charles, you go first.
Okay.
It's hard, dude. It's so many things that it's like hard to pick like one strong suit or like even two strong suits. If I had to pick one, it's his ability to optimize a character. And I don't think any player that I've seen in any game optimizes their character the way that he does. Like, he'll just be like, this works in my head, and then it just works, and you're like, that makes no sense. Like, he's redefined the meta for literally like 7 characters in all alone. Like,
Yep.
True.
I don't know. The dude, I don't know. It's weird. The dude's crazy, and I wanted to just say it was optimization of characters, but then I looked at the top 10 list and realized that he's also the best ledge trapper on the top 10.
Yep.
And it's almost impossible to hit him.
I think
the evasiveness is good. Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
for me, I think Gavin's biggest strength. Now, this is like kind of a hot take, but obviously I've talked with Gavin about this a lot. I think it's his mental. His mental is very strong. Even when you look in the past, and obviously, Gavin has like losers bracket. Gavin, wasn't the strongest in Smash 4, but I think a part of that was like his mental game. It's like, especially back then, it was still strong, but it wasn't refined, right? So it's like if he had like the mental control over the match, you would clearly see it. Like, he would be completely shitting on all these top 10 players by a long shot, wouldn't even look close, right? But then on the flip side, when things weren't going his way in the terms of the mental war, then it would snowball. And I think the reason why it snowballed is because his understanding of the mental was so deep. So he would just see like where he was in the position of the mental war, and he would just be like, I cannot win this. Because just because his understanding was so well, right? It was hard for him to bounce back because he just knew where the mental battle was going. I think coming into Ultimate, he's gotten like a lot better at understanding when he's behind in the mental war and knowing how to like bounce back in those positions, or like what like, okay, I'm behind in this aspect, but what do I have to do to like make the steps to like come back and win this, or like not let this snowball out of control. Obviously not something he's completely mastered, but like I said, I think that happens because of how much he understands the mental game. And that's why I think when it comes to Gavin, things like Waft, things like Limit in Smash 4, things just Bayonetta's kill threat with like Witch Time, like these things that have like crazy reversals, right? That like Roy's jab back air at ledge, like when Gavin was like Juan Gamo, right? And like he's just ledge trapping people with Roy, and like he understands how players want to play when there's like this crazy obvious win condition on the table, right? It's just like obvious win condition, Waft's online. You do not want to get hit by Waft, and I am literally going to like take your soul for being a good player for avoiding like this option, right? And he knows how to like set up and create situations. Ding Dong in Smash 4 with Donkey Kong, right? Like all these things. Shadow Flare with Sephiroth. This is why I think Gavin really likes playing Sephiroth. I think the range is like incredibly well, but like the mental aspect of the orbs on the opponent, I think that's what attracts Gavin to like playing that character a lot, because he really likes situations like that where there's like some kind of setup or some kind of like thing that his opponent fears, and because that's a huge mental aspect of the game. So that's I think that is Tweek's biggest strength and what really like sets him apart unique wise. Because obviously, like when you get into this area, especially like in the top 5, you just have to be very well rounded at the game, and you have to understand the game like incredibly well, right? And obviously the fact that Gavin has pushed like multiple characters into like making people think they're top tier or whatnot, right? Just off of like not the sheer tools, just the way he plays them, just shows like how much he understands the game in that level. But yeah, definitely like the mental aspect, the conditioning aspect of like these very blatant like win conditions or huge like character strengths. I think he's very good at abusing that particularly.
Yeah, when it comes to Tweek, I'm looking at and this, I don't know if this is considered a hot take by the chat or not, but I think Tweek is the most well-rounded player in the top 10. I think so, like including Leo. Like I think it's close between the two of you, honestly, but I think you're the most well-rounded player, and I think that comes down to the fact that you do play the most characters at a top level. That one thing I really appreciate about you is that you just love the game. Like that's not really anything inside of Smash or like while you're playing, but I think you truly enjoy and love the series, and I think you've always had really strong drive and passion to get better at the game, which is really important. I think we said that last time, that's probably the most important thing that you need to become a top player. You can kind of learn all the other shit. You can't teach the passion and the dedication. And I'm mad at Charles for stealing my thing, because I was going to talk about how much your mental has improved since you were, and everyone has to go through that. When you're a kid and you're first learning how to become a top player and become better and get better at something, you're going to have to work through, your own kind of personal growth. And for you, it's overcoming a little bit of this mentality in Smash 4 that you needed to grow through, and you've certainly done that and become so much stronger in that way, which I think that was always the easy thing that people pointed to in a flaw that you had in your play.
Definitely.
And now that that's off the table, I don't think people really know what to say when they talk shit about you. You know what I'm saying? You have too many characters. Like, what is the problem? Your Sephiroth is going to be a fucking problem. I know that for sure. That is going to be dangerous. I think you needed to. I guess your other biggest problem was that you loved a low tier character for a long time, and I think you're still kind of looking for a true home, like a character that you could really feel 100% comfortable with. And I think you found a groove and a rhythm, and I think you have a really good roadmap for success coming up. So I think overall you're the most well-rounded player on this list. I think you're ledge trapping. I think you could do everything in the game and be the best at it. I think your advantage state is insanely good. Everyone said that they think Maister or Nairo may be best advantage state. I think you're in that conversation too. Talk about best defenses. I think you could be thrown in that conversation as well. So again, it's like you're a jack of all trades. I think you can kind of do it all. So that's my impression of Tweek, at least. So many characters too. I think you have the most characters on this list in top 10, or at least that have been played. It was a cool phase when we were going like in the beginning of Ultimate, like near that Galmo kind of saga, where it's like, who the hell's Tweek gonna go and who's he gonna top 8 with? Like any character can get top 8 if Tweek picks him up. Fucking Roy gets taken out of nowhere against
top 8
Mars.
with Banjo.
Yep, Banjo. I was like, Roy came out against Mars. I was like, oh shit, I did not like this. I did not like that matchup for Mars for sure. For Zerasu and Mars in general, like you could just make it work. So there you go.
What's Tweek say on himself? I don't know. I think
we're gonna give all these top players egos, Hercules. All these top players, they know it though. They all know this shit. This is not news to anyone.
I think the exciting thing, like the thing I'm most excited for when offline comes back, is I think something I've really struggled with is consistently like enjoying the game, or like I just the problem with playing so many characters and like learning them so fast is I like kind of like I can't keep myself busy, and I kind of give up and like get bored. And I think that, something I'm really excited about with Sephiroth and Diddy is like this is the most busy I felt with the game and like keeping up and like continuing to practice. And Sephiroth is also like just like the character I wanted in the game, so like it just felt like something I kind of needed just to consistently like keep up with myself. And that's honestly about it. I'm just really excited to be able to play again, and like because the passion I had at the beginning of Ultimate I felt was simply because it was just new. But in terms of characters, it just like wasn't there. It was kind of fleeting, like it would come and go. But that's about it for me. I'm just really excited to play offline again.
Hell yeah, dude. After last night's tournament, I think everyone is like, it's like a fever, dude. Everyone is just like, let's go. Motivation's all time high. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, and before we jump into the next player, I think even that journey that Gavin kind of went through. I feel like for mentality purposes, I think Zackray's kind of going through the same thing right now. I think because I definitely feel like Zackray can be a little stubborn sometimes with his character picks and stuff like that. So I feel like even for Zackray, once he kind of like gets over like specific mental humps, I don't think it's like a very consistent thing, but like there's just, and like I feel like a lot of people even can relate to this when they're like watching him play and they're like, oh man, I wonder why he just didn't go Joker or to go this, right? Is it like stubborn, or does he actually think this matchup is like this or whatnot? So I also think like there's a lot of players that have so much potential to be a lot stronger once they kind of like get over specific mental humps that they're having, right? So I'm super looking forward to offline. It's gonna be so hyped, dude. And like I mean, like even like Tweek's roster is literally just different. Like we might not even see him play a character that he played, you know, at the last big tournament, right? Like it's probably just gonna be Diddy Seth. Like so it's like that, like people's complete rosters have just completely shifted or changed. So it's like I don't know, dude. Offline is gonna be so sick.
Hell yeah. We can get into top 2 now, if you guys are ready.
Yep,
I'm ready.
Big number 2. I think we've said this about everyone, the character specialist. This is also the defining character specialist of a character over a couple games now.
True.
And also way more popular and strong character in this version. We got Samsora, of course. Sam, I mean, what can you say about the man himself? Peach legend. Since Smash 4, since Brawl, maybe? I don't remember if he played Brawl or not, but either way.
A little bit, I think.
A little bit, yeah. Like Gluto, he's been playing the character forever. He's always going to play the character. And honestly, putting Peach on a map in the biggest way possible. So, what do you guys got on Sam?
Corner pressure.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing, dude. Best corner pressure game. I mean, definitely kind of like it's a mix of Sam and a mix of the character. But like, my goodness, Sam plays the... It's interesting because we were actually talking about this last night when we were watching the tournament, Gavin. But remember, you're like, oh, he's going for the ledge trap that he's like too far forward. He's not going for the ledge trap that like covers roll, and you just like you either like there's the ledge trap where you play forward and you try to get the ledge trap, and then there's the ledge trap where I'm standing by roll. If you roll, I punish. If not, I corner you, and I'm just going to I'm going to have utter faith in my corner pressure. And Samsora is very good at mixing in between the two, but like he can like float by roll or just position by roll with a turn up, and it's just like the scariest thing ever, because even if you normal get up, like you're still in a really, really bad spot because his corner pressure is so good, right?
Yep.
I just don't understand how he be hitting people with forward air. Like, I be getting hit by it. That move is 35 frames start up. Like, you see it and you know it's gonna come, and it just hits, and you're like,
dude, sometimes that startup on moves sometimes it's what you need to like really go with the kit, like the little delay and like on the pressure and stuff. Like sometimes it makes sense to me, but I still see what you're saying.
Well, it's because like Peach doesn't have like a forward hitting aerial besides forward air. So like if you're at a certain distance, you know either nothing's coming or forward air.
True.
But it still lands somehow.
And like Peach doesn't have like crazy air mobility to close the gap either for an air, right? Like
no. Well, and that kind of natural tempo change up that she has, because you have to be so afraid of all the other shit that she has that when forward air comes, like you're always looking for it. But like you said, Marcus, if you get used to, nair, back air obviously is super fast in the air, down tilt in the ground, like all these quick options that she has anyway. Then you throw in like a kind of a change up with the forward air, it can just crush you. Like you're not ready for it. And that's something that I'm struggling with Mythra and Pyra. They switch between the two. I'm like, well, I got to get used to all sorts of different frame data. I'm trying to parry their aerials, and it's like they're just totally different tempos that they have that you have to deal with. It's just it's a lot to think about. But with Sam, when I was driving back home to get ready for the podcast, I was thinking of this list. The first thing I thought of with Sam was forward air. He's just forward air master with Peach, 100%. I agree with you. Like that's the first thing. Second thing is the combos, the down tilt. Like watching him. I remember week 1 just watching his clips come up, and I was just like, this character's either this is training room bullshit and no one cares, and like this isn't gonna matter, or this is the character, and it
like
turned out it was
top
the character.
Tier,
Yep. So Sam really put the character, again, another person who put the character on the map. But in this case, it's a character that is very popular, and he still does it, the best. And I think one of the things too that he does so well that isn't translating well to online play, and this is true for a lot of Peaches, but I think especially Sam, is the micro spacing with float and the mix-ups in the
Yes.
air that you can get and baiting things out with float. Because if you're just off just by a little bit, the character doesn't work, and I think that's kind of where Peaches have a hard time online,
true.
and the conversions and combos. So I think that little micro spacing, I think that's what Sam does kind of the best.
I think something that isn't talked about often, and I think a lot of people might be confused if they keep up with Smash, is and I can also relate to it with the character I play in Diddy, is so there's like the potential with Peach's like advantage state and combos to be like, you know, 0 to death like every time, like technically, right? And I think something Sam does really well, especially in a tournament setting, is the risk reward of finding the middle ground of like consistency, high damage, potential kills, but also it's never quite the on paper thing that would be the best. I think he really takes in a lot of the tournament variables really well. You know, consistent safe options, like, you know, like to like risk not messing up or something. Maybe I might be wording this a little weird, but that's basically what I'm trying to get at is Sam finds the middle ground of Peach really well. Like, you know, I'll take a little less damage for some extra positioning, or I'll take I'll take an easier kill confirm than a harder one, like, or like sometimes vice versa, you know what I mean? Like, I think Sam gets the job done really well, just with Peach's damage output and, you know, gauging the risk reward really well. Like with Diddy, you know, when I first started playing Diddy, you know, I did what felt right, and then I played him more, taking it more seriously, looking into like the training room combos, like you were talking about, Haz. I'm like, okay, all this is definitely possible, and then you kind of combine the two of like, you know, intuition, what you feel is right, you know, risk reward, and getting the maximum damage. And oftentimes it's a middle ground in tournament, and I think I can definitely relate to it with Samsora's Peach. It's definitely something that isn't talked about often because it's quite vague and weird, but I think it's something that at first glance, if you know a lot about Peach, you would think that maybe Samsora is doing something wrong, but I think he just understands the tournament environment really well.
Yeah, this is a topic that not too much people can relate because they haven't played at that level at tournament, right? Like you can, like, there's a difference between like, oh, I get out of pools, right? And I felt that tournament pressure to get out of pools. And then there's playing on the top 8 stage on day 3. Like that, those are two like very different things in terms of the amount of pressure, what's going on, right? Like even the environment, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, right? Like sometimes when you're playing in pools, if there's like a crazy crowd and they're literally like hitting your chair, or like literally like the person's head is right here screaming into your ear, that's one situation that maybe you would want to be on stage, right? And then there's also just like the pressure of being on stage, right? And there's like a bunch of people watching on Twitch and stuff. They're two totally different environments, but it's definitely not talked about enough. Like just players like optimizing like getting that middle ground, like Gavin was talking about, right? Like, okay, I can go for like the super crazy unrealistic combo that like I get in training mode every single time, or I can go for, you know, just like the simple-ish bread and butter. I get a pretty good like next situation afterwards, and that's that's super important, right? I think Sam does a really good job of finding that middle ground. Obviously, the earlier in the meta, the more the middle ground is going to go more towards the simple stuff. The later on in the meta, you know, we get more of the complex stuff because players are just more comfortable with it. And that's a big thing for tech too. A lot of people don't talk about it for that. Like for Tweek, when the Diddy Infinite got nerfed and there's a new Infinite that was like a frame 1 or 2 window, right? Me and Gavin had this discussion of like, is this worth you learning? Let's talk about this, right? This is very important. Like, are you going to spend this time, the sheer amount of time to like learn this Infinite that Nintendo will probably take out once you do it in tournament anyway, right? And all these hours could go into, you know, neutral practice, all this other stuff, right? And I think that's like an aspect not a lot of people talk about, like your time management into like learning specific things, and then like on the spot usage of this skill, right, in tournament, so it's like, okay, I'm just going to go for like the simple just like down throw into this instead of like the crazy like thing that'll get me 15% more, but like is it worth me messing that up, losing my advantage state and all that stuff? Sam does that really, really well. And even just like knowing the situation after, right? Like, okay, I get like 10 less damage here, but instead of like being positioned more far forward, I get more center stage control and I get a turn up here, right? Like those kind of like micro decisions Samsora is very, very good at, especially, and like you see it more with Samsora because his character with float has like so many different like damage routes you can go for, or like, okay, like this specific damage route, but what's my positioning afterwards? What do I get a turn up after this combo, or like it's the same positioning, this one gets more, you know, damage, but then it doesn't get the turn up, this one gets less damage, but I get a turn up, right? Like there's so much going on there with Peach, and he does an amazing job of just like balancing the two and knowing exactly when and where to go for stuff.
The positioning is the number one thing here. A really easy example that I would suggest with the character I play, Diddy, like let's say we're at the ledge, I throw a banana at them, and I could do a crazy combo, like with like a down throw combo where like they'd be like more center stage, they'd be on stage now, or I could forward throw them off the stage. No combo, but there's positioning for the edge guard and ledge trap. So I'm taking the risk of getting less damage now, but I could get a stock or even more damage than the combo itself through this ledge trap. So I think in a tournament environment, top level play, but like we said, this middle ground of knowing what's the more consistent option. Do I go for the high damage here, or do I go for a little less damage with positioning? And that's very important with a lot of characters. So I think that's definitely the number one thing I'd like to talk about, especially because it's not talked about often. And then we talked about like simple stuff like forward air, corner pressure. I think this is something that just goes hand in hand with the character specialist thing, like just having a really high understanding of your character, having enough experience to understand that things like just aren't black and white in Smash. And just like, you know, just knowing a lot of the variables and the small differences in every interaction, that it's not just hit you and kill you. Like, it's not that simple.
Right. Definitely. We got to talk about the head bobbing too. That's classic. The signature. You know he's in the zone. Like, I truly think like that's an indicator as to how he thinks as a player, because he feels that shit, man. When he hits you with Peach, he feels it out of the game. He wants you to feel it in the game and out of the game. That shit's crazy.
Flow cancel nair, flow cancel nair, flow cancel nair. Like
back air is what kills me with that character. Jeez.
So good.
What the hell were they thinking? Anyway.
All right, number 1. The GOAT.
Oh boy. The GOAT.
Leo.
MKLeo.
All right. So we're going to use one word to describe this player, and I'm going to make it so we all have to say it at the same time. And I have faith that we'll all say it at the same time.
We're not all going to say it at the same time.
Yes.
We'll
say it.
No, it doesn't matter. I just know we're all going to say the same word, all right?
I have 2 different words in my head, so I don't.
Dude, do the one that I'm fucking talking about. I got it. Everyone else knows too, okay?
I got it.
On 3. I got it. 1, 2, 3. Spacing.
Clutch.
Let's go. Yes, that was my other word. Clutch was my other word.
Yes, clutch is yes.
Also really good.
Word, yeah.
I'm fired.
The meme pick was Mexican. That was the meme pick because of Hungry Boxes. That was the meme pick. So if you guys don't feel too bad, don't feel too bad.
I went with my heart.
He's so clutch, dude. Game 4 Leo. That's always the thing. Game 4 clutch.
Wait, everyone said spacing except Taz, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, it was someone else said it too. I think.
Everybody said spacing.
Wait, so it's only 2 for 4? I had faith.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was 3.
It was 3.
Okay.
That was my bad. Spacing, obviously, too, yes. Obviously.
No, but he is clutch. That's like, it's like spacing's like the more consistent thing, but when you look at like the situations where he's won a lot of tournaments, they don't happen if he didn't clutch it, right? Like, so it's like, I feel like it's definitely, like Pink said, they were both like kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
Definitely 2, like, I feel like tied for like his best traits. He just, dude, he doesn't get phased, man. Like,
if
it's
I was
like,
thinking
it's
about
so
Ultimate
crazy.
Specifically, maybe I'd consider clutch, but I was thinking of like Leo over the years, like both Smash games.
He's gotten his clutch game is insane in Ultimate.
Yeah.
Right. He was still clutch in Smash 4, but I think he just didn't have the amount of experience that he had in Ultimate, so it was like less refined. In Smash 4 for sure, it was like spacing by far.
Yeah.
And then Ultimate, it's like spacing and his clutch because like he's just gotten to that level
That's true.
of experience.
Yeah, and kind of more credit to you guys for saying spacing, because I think, and this is what Charles is saying too, that the fundamentals that he have are built on perfect spacing. Like that's what it's built upon, and then he grew into being able to be clutch off of that. Like that's his foundation. Like which is the
Good
most
point.
important. So my bad for dropping the ball there, but I still think his clutch. I don't think anyone is even close to as clutch as him. He could be down 3 stocks to 1, down 0-2, and I'm like, I think he's got this. I still think he's kind of got this, honestly. Arsene pops up, I'm like, yeah, this shit's over.
It's like you gotta put in the extra work to make sure you can like take that game off him. You know what I mean? You gotta.
No one can get lazy against him for sure.
You gotta get ready for the second and third boss phase, like every stock.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing is, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, but isn't Joker clutch? Yes, but. Like we've been saying that with the whole top 10 list. It's like, taking your character strengths, taking like your own strengths and just really taking them to the next level. And I think a good word Has used was like the foundation. Obviously this isn't like, just taking one character strength, one player strength and just rolling with it. You build up every other aspect of Smash like with it. So it's just interesting to talk about. Like, it's kind of something you know, but until you like put it into words, you don't realize how interesting all this is.
Yeah, and like you said, Tweek, it's not a coincidence that all these top 10 players play the characters that they do and really highlight the strengths of the characters and also how they play the game. Like Mars, look at the rosters that other people have. Like Mars also plays Ike, who's a character that can really just blow you the fuck up if you don't if he knows what you're going to do next. Like that's one of his characters. Same thing like across the board. You'll see it a lot with like obviously Light with his Fox. That's the best tech chasing in the business, but he does it with all his characters. If he's rotating on you and playing other characters for fun, he'll tech chase you everywhere. It's the same thing. So same thing with Leo. I don't know if we would really talk about the clutch factor of Arsene without Leo though. Like obviously that's going to be a thing, but it's so highlighted by him as a player. Like everyone, that's an obvious one to point to, but Arsene as a comeback mechanic or a clutch out mechanic, we're talking about it a lot less if Leo isn't on the board. Yeah. Like a lot less. I don't even know how much we're talking about it.
I think you would expect us to say the exact same thing about Gluto, and obviously we technically could, but it's so much more apparent with Leo, despite them both being like comeback mechanics and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I think you have a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
clutch.
Leo.
Clutch was the right word.
Leo has clutched it out like 3 stocks to 1 many times against many players, but that usually doesn't happen within one Arsene. I've seen Leo set up the situation where he gets the very last Arsene and then like shits on the other player with just abusing Arsene and just like abusing the fact that he has Arsene, right? But he couldn't get to that part unless he just shit on you second stock with no Arsene. Like I've seen him completely obliterate people, no Arsene, just bop bibbity bop, edge guard, bear, and then like the super deep sink down back air, and then next stock gets Arsene, right? Like how many times have we seen that? And it's like that was no Arsene, but he did that, and then now he does have Arsene, and then in your brain you're just like, holy fuck, dude, he just shit on me without Arsene. And now he has Arsene. Oh, dude, what's my counter pick next game? Like, you know what I mean? Like Jesus Christ, it's fucking insane. Yeah,
I've just heard I've been a part of so many crowds at majors where Leo's playing, and the crowd wants to see the upset, of course. Not that Leo's not very well liked and enjoyed, but Leo's down, and then suddenly he gets a Rebels guard off, and you just hear the do like the fills up, and then you just hear the crowd go, oh, it's just over. Like,
it's like the match is already over to them.
Yeah, once it gets
you've just seen it so many times, so it's kind of safe to assume that like something's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. Also, I've seen it so many times, man.
Something that I don't think a lot of people talk about when it comes to Leo is we all do this, especially the higher level you get. But I think he is the best player out of any player that I've ever seen at saving the right reads for the right moment.
Yes.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Like Joker Fair One is not a good move. I'm just gonna like tell everyone right now, like everyone's just like, dude, Fair One's crazy. Like I see Leo win with the Fair One drag down combo thing. It's like, bro, okay. Fair One is not safe on block, okay? If you have Arsene, you can space it because you have the little disjoint, but like I think this like contributes to what Pink is saying, right? Like he always saves it for like the very last moment where you don't expect it, and like Leo hits so many fair ones that like I think to most people you'd think like, wow, fair one must be broken. Like this guy's hitting this joint all the time. It's just like no, he knows exactly when and where to save it, and like he just like gets the KO off of it every time. It's not a coincidence that there's always a platform right there for him to get the like the up smash that kills like even extra earlier. Like none of this stuff's like a coincidence. He's like the way he plays around it is just so damn good, and like saving those kinds of reads and those moments is just it, and that attributes to like his clutch, right? You don't get clutch situations like that unless you save it. To, like save those specific punishes.
Yeah, and I think we got to give him a lot of credit too for he kind of had. We were talking about Maister and how he didn't give up on Game & Watch and really stuck to his guns and said, "No, I think this character's the real deal." Leo took a lot of bad losses with Joker early on. Well, for Leo,
At that
it's like
Japan tournament,
that's like 2 bad tournaments and like that's it. Like for him, that's a lot though. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of insane in its own right. But he knew, like he was like, "Nope, I'm sticking it out. This character's the real deal. I'm gonna figure it out." And then he's all these things that you're saying. He wrote the damn book on how to play not just Joker but Ultimate as well, and just being so consistent in Ultimate. Like beating him is just it's a mountain.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I've told this story before, but I remember sitting down and talking to Mars in between his sets at Genesis, and we were looking at the bracket, and obviously Leo, for anyone who follows Mars or the competitive scene at all, was always a demon for Mars. Of course, he's kind of everyone's demon, I mean, to be fair. But for Mars especially, it was really, really tough. But we were looking at the losers bracket, and we both kind of said, dude, it wouldn't feel the same if you didn't beat Leo in Grands. Like, you have to do it. We want him to make this run. You know what I mean? We want him to play you because that's it. Like, if you win Genesis, yeah, that's great and that's amazing. But if you don't beat Leo, it's kind of an asterisk next to it. Like, you didn't beat Leo. Like, Leo's the god, the GOAT, I think, as we introduced him. So, yeah, Leo's the real deal, man. He really is. Hell yeah. Well, that was a fun topic.
Yeah, you can get many hours out of that. We could do even more if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh,
trying to keep it short for time.
For the content, let's make like 3 episodes out of this. More details
One
next
episode
week.
for each player. One episode for each player.
Yeah.
Start at 50 and just sort of work our way down.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Hell yeah.
I guess we can talk about the Japanese tournament a little bit.
Can we please talk about the Japanese?
I don't even know where to start. I just want to say that was like the most fun I've had watching Smash in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
That was so like, and we were talking about it before we went live, and Haz was saying like that, like Twitter was super active, even though it was like super degen hours, and like you could like it was like so cool because it felt like one of those it felt like a offline tournament in a sense where I'm watching the tournament and then I see something crazy and then I refresh my Twitter. I'm like, oh dude, wait, yo, like. You know what I mean? It's just like it was so cool to see like the community interacting with each other as we're watching the tournament, and it was so much fun, dude. I just had a blast.
I feel like we needed it. It just felt good.
It was that major feeling where everyone on the timeline just wrote, "Oh shit! Oh my god! I can't believe it!" And you knew what they were talking about. You knew what it was. It didn't matter. You knew that the up smash crit and killed at 20. You know what it was.
Yeah. Okay, I actually looked away for 1 second. I knew it was an up smash crit. What percent was it?
I think 20, and it
no
killed.
No way, it was at 20.
I think so. It was something like that.
No way, it was at 20.
A fully charged up smash critting? I don't know.
Boys,
it was low. It was low. I remember the chat just wrote fair and balanced gameplay. Like that was all the chat said, which is super funny.
I know up smash can do that, but I just didn't see the situation. So I'm like, how did this situation happen?
Holy shit.
It was 20%. It was
50. Okay.
I thought it was like 40 or 50.
After
that's
the hit?
fair. Killing at 40 and 50. That's cool. That's fair.
Fair and balanced.
No, that's reasonable.
He did have to get lucky.
What are the odds? Is it 1 in 8? Is that what 1 in 6?
It's 1 in 8. It's 1 in 8.
For a crit?
I think it's 1 in 8.
I think it's higher than that. Like easier than that.
Is it 1 in 6?
I'm looking at Nairo right now. Ultimate frame data, save me.
It's 1 in 8.
Can I get the oranges?
Bullshit,
oranges in the chat, please?
50% of the fucking smash attacks are crits.
It's 50.
See, it's 1 in 8. 1 in 8.
50%.
That's a lie.
50%. You're crazy. You be maining this character.
It's 85.
I know, but like, dude, I swear they get it more than they don't.
Oh well, yeah, because they main the character. It's like Luigi's getting misfires.
Yeah.
Misfires 1 out of 10, right?
Yeah, Peach is getting turnips or the good stitches or whatever.
Okay, that's different. That's different. There's literally so many possible turnips to get.
Yep.
And like
I'm still waiting for the moment where Samsora pulls a saber, like a lightsaber, or the
It's
beam
not in the
sword, even
game,
though it's like
bro.
literally not in the game
Oh,
and
okay.
possible. Like I'm still waiting for that moment where he just pulls it out in tournament. And it's just like, oh my god, it was like it was actually in the game, but it was 0.00000000001% chance, and it actually happened for the first time in history.
Yeah, dude, the tournament. I mean, just it was such good vibes from the whole community. Reminded me of, like when World Tour started up too. Same thing. It just felt like it felt like home. It
We
just felt like we were.
We just need that motivation. It's been a while.
Everyone's motivated. Everyone's getting their Virgil on. They're all motivated.
I'm just gonna say, I made a lot of money from the last podcast because I invested in Stonks, and
Nice.
Stonks right now are through the roof. Remember, I will say this:
potential top 10 players.
definitely. We were talking about like potential top 10 players coming in to offline, and one of my picks for T. We had 2 picks each, right? So I had Void and T, and all I'm saying is Stonks right now. Stonks are very high. Invest right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna say like like who the whole top 10 list is right this moment, because obviously it's possibly different than.
Yeah, we don't even know. It's crazy.
Yeah, obviously there has to be a season for like but I'm talking about like right now. Like I think T probably already is top 10 skill.
Oh yeah.
I was saying that watching the tournament, like before he even like won the whole thing. I'm like, I think this is a top 10 player. Obviously he could like not be, but like that's what I feel and what it looks like when I'm watching. Take it with a grain of salt, but basically what I'm saying is T is very, very good.
Yeah. I think right before top 8 started, I opted into a Discord call with some other smashers. Shout out to Remzi, Karna, and Lade, and we were talking. I was like, I think T's got this. I think he's playing so well today. I think Pac-Man is the real deal in this game for sure. Like for sure. I think the biggest problem.
I wish Blade named him, dude. He's so good with Pac-Man. He's so good. He's such a good player.
We kind of grilled him about that. We were like, dude, if you had to enter a tournament today, who'd you play as? And he said Pac-Man. We were like, yeah, fucking right. You'd pick R.O.B. You'd crumble after one game. You'd pick R.O.B. He begged for Steve to be in the game forever, and then he picked up R.O.B. the week Steve came out. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, this is your dream character. This is your dream character. I know, it's such a late move. But anyway, so we were talking. I was like, dude, I think T Pac-Man, this is it. Like, this is the real deal. I totally agree with you. Charles was right on the last episode. Obviously, T won the tournament as well. But there's a lot of other things that are so important to check out with these results, including number 2. How do you pronounce it? It's French again. Hold on.
Ooh, yes. Haz is on the spot. He's got the mic.
I had it. Hey,
Yeah,
French.
Don't mess with this tag.
Do not mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
All I
why
know
not?
is there's no R sound at the end. At least
Yeah, it's
I
French, right?
know that.
It's a French.
It's a French word.
It's a French word, but he's like a Japanese player.
I don't think he.
Atelier, is that right? Atelier,
yeah. But his name is Torier. Torier. That's his like name. Torier is his name. But his tag.
Cac will tell us how to pronounce it. He's from France. He'll let us know. But he was, dude. I think that was the most. This is the most fun I've had watching in top 8 in a while. Every single match was a banger. Yeah. Whether it was five game last stock last hit or a surprise 3-0. Zackray got
3-0. Mostly 3-0s, especially for the first. Maybe even more than half of top 8, just 3-0s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 6 sets were 3-0.
First 6 sets. God.
It was amazing. Yeah, the upsets were amazing. It was. I've never seen. I tweeted that too. It was like I've never seen Zackray get hit like that. Like I've never seen him lose a set in that way. Like, and against PT, you know what I mean? Which is kind of surprising. Like
that matchup is pretty bad for PT, Rob. I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that.
I thought it was like even-ish. I wasn't sure though.
At least PT players kind of think it's on par for like like worst matchup like with a couple other characters. So yeah.
You definitely don't have the air mobility to like maneuver around top, and like your switch stops your air mobility.
You can't get off ledge either.
In that, right? Like in that sense. So it's like there's a. I also even like PT Pac-Man. Me and we were watching it last night. It's pretty rough for PT. When there's a matchup for PT where it's just like I very heavily depend on this Mon, and like I'm hoping that this Mon can bring me through this like matchup. It's usually a bad one because it's like usually kind of like depends on Ivysaur, right? Like a lot of those bad matchups, it's like, okay, well, Ivy can kind of do it, right? But like if the other two can't help compensate for Ivy's weaknesses, then you kind of have a problem, right? When you're like, oh dang, but like, okay, I need like that quick nimble character, but like, oh, Squirtle kind of gets jammed in this matchup. Oh, okay, I guess I'm switching back to like Ivy, and then it's like, well, Zard's like way too big and he can't get in. Like, wait a minute, this isn't good. I'm getting combo too hard. Okay, well, let's 2 switches. Let's try to get this done with Ivy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not good, because the whole point of trainer being like strong in specific matchups is you have the diversity and flow to at least like switch to 2 to 3 of them where like there's a threat, right? If only one of them has like a really big threat, then even switching when you're Ivy or, you know, not the strongmon, like if they force a switch, then they're like, oh sweet, like, you know what I mean? It's like now you got to switch like 2 more times to get back to the good one, like, and you did it to like try to get out of this disadvantaged situation. Like it gets really rough. You want to have like a somewhat consistent flow between all 3 of them, but like he still played it well. Like you can still win the matchup, obviously. Like you just got to get those really like key moments with the strong mon, or like, but it was really fun, and it's like cool because Atelier has like Void fought Atelier in Japan, like when me and Void went to Japan. So I got to watch him play. And Atelier actually beat Void in Japan in a Japanese tournament. And like at the time, Hikaru and Atelier were kind of like back and forth on who was the best trainer from Japan. So it's really cool to see like the trainer meta in Japan really start advancing and stuff like that. It's I don't know. And like he also had a wolf that was really fun to watch. I think his wolf definitely isn't as good as his PT, or I guess like I want to say consistency, because like there was times where he was playing the Pac-Man matchup really, really well. He was using the gun a lot, like, but yeah, then there were certain situations where like he just started going in. He like the gameplay wasn't as consistent as like the PT gameplay. So definitely think his wolf has a lot of potential. He just has to like be more consistent with his game plans.
Yeah.
When he played Zackray, I noticed one very specific thing, and if the match didn't go like a specific way, then he would lose the stock first. And I was talking to Gavin about it, and it was he would be Squirtle, and it felt like Zackray could not hit him as he was Squirtle. Like I remember there was a stock he did like 130% as Squirtle, right?
Wow.
He switched to Ivysaur and lost the stock first.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So this is what it is.
You took 0 damage. You did 130, then you switched and you got smoked.
Yeah.
And if that ever happened, like if he ever did like a bunch of damage, pushed him off stage, and he could capitalize on whether it's a ledge trap or like a corner situation, juggle situation, and usually the stock would be taken first, and it'll just switch back to Squirtle on the when he's coming back from the Angel platform. But if that did not go well, he was getting smoked. And that's actually how he won the last game. He came back. He was at 13%. Zackray was at 0. He did 110% as Squirtle. Switched to Ivysaur, just did runoff down there.
And actually got the stock, yeah.
And got the stock.
So here's the scary thing in that matchup.
I wish we had the best PT in this podcast so we could get insight on this specific like matchup thing with PT. I wish we had a resource like that.
Yeah, we need to outsource here. We might have to bring someone on. We need a guest.
Yeah. Tweek. We can call that Tweek guy in, right?
We give him a shot.
He's a pretty good PT. Like I think he might know a thing or two about PT.
True.
Kinda. So so here's the thing about that matchup is when you get the advantage state, you'll get all the damage in the world, but Rob's recovery and weight is so good that the actual finishing blow is the hard part. Ivysaur can
you gotta catch him swinging, right? Like the up air.
Ivysaur can even get hits off stage, but won't result in kills. Even spikes at 80%, and Rob will live. So it's really hard to get the meaningful edge guards and whatnot out of your Squirtle advantage state. This goes pretty much hand in hand with what Marcus was talking about. And obviously, since it's that hard, then Rob can obviously put himself in positions where the risk reward is so much more in his favor off stage, and he'll just make it back. Or like taking hits that like, you know, put him higher or like put him like in a better position to recover. And it kind of happens like that. And I think that's the hard part about the matchup, because PT's so strong because so many characters fall to the flowchart where Squirtle advantage state, Ivysaur edge guard, you can't do anything. good luck next stock. With R.O.B, you have to work extra hard. And if he makes it back and he gets advantage state, he puts you on the ledge. His edge guarding is better than yours in this matchup. His ledge trapping is better than yours in this matchup. You have very minimal options. So the most impressive part about Atelier beating Zackray here is that he took it as far as he could, and he didn't get put in the situations where you can see why the matchup is so hard. He wasn't put on the ledge like that. He actually was getting the stocks that were the crucial stocks, right? So I think that's why that's so impressive. I'm very impressed with just the on paper results that I saw from a PT player. Zackray is like one of them. There's two main ones. Zackray beating Zackray with PT, beating his R.O.B in 2 different games, and then beating T in a set with PT is equally
insane.
Impressive for the player skill and for the matchup, because the matchups are very similar as to why they're so hard. Edge guarding, neutral, like you have like 1 or 2 openings, and if you don't get them, it's kind of over. But the discipline, just the raw execution, it was just very impressive. Yeah, very nice PT gameplay for sure.
I loved a couple things he did with his Ivy that I loved is he wasn't afraid to get grabs.
Yes.
Like his grab game was insanely fucking good with Ivysaur. And then he tech chased with Razor Leaf into confirming a Divine Whip, which that shit like gave me chills. I thought that was so fucking cool. Because even if you miss the Razor Leaf going one way, you can still catch him on the other side regardless. Like they're rolling towards the ledge in the other way. You know what I mean? You cover center stage and then they roll towards the ledge and now they're at the ledge against your Ivysaur. Like that sucks. He dominated the platforms with up air and down air. The way he moved around I would ban PS2 against this guy in a heartbeat. There's no way I'm letting him go there because the way he used down air and up air with Ivysaur on those platforms was just insane. And I like to, and something I like to do just as a spectator is try to like kind of, and I'm sure all you guys do this and most people chat do this too, you envision what they're going to kind of do next. You know what I mean? Like if you see a Sheik get a down throw, you know what's coming next. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of picture it in your mind. At one point, he was off to the right, I think it was with Zard, and he won the interaction. Like he fared and blasted his opponent to the other side of the stage, landed on the stage, used Squirtle to run to the other side, and then switched to Ivysaur and got the edge guard. And I thought that was so cool because I feel like a lot of PTs would just stay Zard in that situation at a high percentage, situation like that. So using Squirtle's speed to get to the other side and then switch to Ivysaur and get the Nair, I was like, that's not where my mind went at all. I mean, obviously I don't play PT, but it's not what I'm used to seeing, and I thought shit like that is just so creative. He felt very comfortable and sometimes to his downfall, as you pointed out, Marcus, it's staying Ivysaur in those situations, which I really like, because to me the thing that's so neat and kind of frustrating about fighting PT is when Squirtle's in, Squirtle is, a fast faller, light, combo heavy character, but it doesn't have the downfalls of being that character of dying at 60, because you could just switch to, eventually you could be a heavy, you know what I mean? And same thing with Zard. You don't need to be a heavy at 0% and get comboed to 80 with Zard, because you could just be Ivysaur or Squirtle until then. So the fact that you could be a heavy and a light without them really having those bad characteristics, potentially of what they do is so strong with the character. And I thought he did that well, because staying Ivysaur in those situations and being confident in the Ivy, I think really helped him out and to secure second in that place. So
there was a couple situations where I was like, where I like recognized some stuff I did with PT when I was watching, and that's always nice, because I guess it sounds arrogant, but I don't see that often in any gameplay. The down airs and up airs with platforms is I did a lot of stuff like that when I played PT. Like I abused the hell out of that.
Poofing on him.
He added his own spices to it occasionally, and I thought it was really interesting and really caught me off guard. Like there was these weird hesitations on the platform. Like sometimes he would just stand there, kind of flicker shield for a parry, do like an empty hop on the platform, then like fall through up air, and I'm like, oh, okay, so no down air. You went just for the up air there. Like you were reading you were trying to delay like your shielding and like your empty hops to try to get them to jump towards you, and then you up air with the fall through. I was like, that was really beautiful. One specific up air, like I'd have to see it to show you, but it was one specific time where I was like, you kind of took that Ivysaur platform sharking to the next level. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Chat had a
Dude.
good correction there too. Is that Charizard is actually faster than Squirtle? True.
Charizard's
but the thing
by far
is,
the fastest. Squirtle
yeah,
and
he's
Ivysaur
very
are
fast.
actually slow.
Yeah.
But you switch to Squirtle, so you get the switch to Ivy when you get
Ivysaur,
there.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Because
good,
you can't
good call
like
out there,
the
chat.
double switch there. Yeah, but like, I mean, even just like him knowing that, it was like sick. Because at the end of the day, he wanted to get to that spot as Ivy, right? So he
Yeah.
ran with Squirtle. So by the time he gets there with Squirtle, the switch cooldown thing is done. He doesn't have to like force a move. Because like the only other like fastest way to switch, because switch has a cooldown. The only other faster way to switch is you have to do a special move and then switch out, right?
Yeah.
So even though running with Squirtle was like a slower, so to speak, he's like using that to like run the cooldown timer on switch. So by the time he gets to the edge of the other side of the stage, he can switch into Ivy and just go for the clean edge guard there with Nair. So I mean, just having that intuition and like knowledge it's like super sick to see that.
Yeah.
Even like his ledge trapping was super cool. Razor Leaf to catch normal getup. Now we keep talking about his staggers and stuff. Like most trainers are just spamming Razor Leaf and they just hope they get it. But like there was so much purpose in his staggers. Like he was definitely fishing for like very specific timings and like dash back, wait, stagger a little bit, and then throw the Razor Leaf, right? Because like to catch that like standard normal get up time where they like kind of abuse all the intangibility, then they get up, gets that Razor Leaf right into the Vine Whip. He like got a ton of KOs like that. Just very impressive, like next level stuff with PT. It was like, oh, dude, it was so fun to watch, right? And like PT, like especially if you're just like a Pokemon fan in general, and even like just character design wise, it's probably one of the most unique characters in the entire game, right? Like just being able to switch in between 3 characters like that, all 3 of them like serving very different purposes in terms of archetype. So just seeing like a character like that get pushed that far, and especially even after the nerfs, right? Like obviously it was a nerf / buff, but you know, even when talking about the R.O.B matchup, the Ivy Dare nerf, it's a big deal, you know, especially when it comes to like that specific matchup where it's like, this is really hard to hit, but when I hit it, I need the sweet spot. I need this robot to die because it's like so hard to kill him, right? So, you know, the Zard buffs, like it might have helped certain matchups where like Ivy doesn't want to dare certain recoveries, but for the most part, I think overall is like a nerf, like a small nerf. But it's like I said, it was a nerf buff. I think overall it's a nerf, but like it was just, it's so cool to see PT perform at that level after the nerfs, right? Like it was super sick to see that, and even just against players like PT's not like this new pick, right? Like all these players that he's fighting are very experienced in the matchup. So it was just, the level of gameplay was so fun to watch. And another thing that I think like Japan does as a region that's really good, that's super underrated, is oh no, Termi, is like flickering shield by just flickering shield. So when you flicker shield, like shield, drop shield, shield, there's only a like, I believe like a 5 or 6 frame window that you can actually get hit, which is actually really small, and the window for pairing is huge. Like it's like 4 or 5 frames. So it's like just doing like shield on shield, shield on shield, shield on shield by ledge, and then like picking a different option. It's like so good. And like I've seen Japan like fish for parries like that so often in a lot of different situations, and I just think it's super underutilized. It's like a really good option, and like you can sit there and just flicker and then like react from there, right? Like, oh, did I get a parry? Like hit the punish. Did I not? Okay, reposition. Or it's so good. But yeah, that's just like a general like Japan meta thing. And then of course we got to talk about the hero, right?
Yes, like, I was like saying we need to make sure we talk about this, bro. Those up tilts were so
the dash in up tilt,
nasty.
dash in reverse up tilts. That was the shit, bro.
That usage of up tilt was nasty. That shit was taking stocks. Up tilt and psych up throw. Those are the MVPs.
Bro.
MVPs.
So
yeah.
He just.
You have to make sure not to pummel. A lot of people don't know this, but if you pummel, you will burn the psych up charge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So whenever you see a hero with psych up, like obviously they're going to be fishing for grab or whatever, but like that if you're a hero player, you do not pummel. You have to grab and just yeet them out.
Yeah.
Or you'll use your psych up on the pummel, which is just funny to me. But yeah, and I mean, we even me and Gavin were talking about this last night as we were watching the tournament, and this is like I've always generally thought this. Japan as a region, their play style, I wouldn't. It's like a little bit. I feel like I don't want to say conservative, but like they definitely give each other more space than other regions. Like when they're fighting each other, the amount of space they give each other, like space/respect in terms of neutral, is a little bit more than other regions. Which is why I think characters like Hero can like do well. Am I saying that Hero only did well because he played in Japan? I'm not saying that. I definitely think that Hero player can do really well in America or just any other region tournament. But he definitely wouldn't get as much space as he's getting in when he's playing in these Japan tournaments. So it'd definitely be a little different. I still think he's just like good enough to as a player to like, you know, prevail in any setting. But I do think that is my opinion on like Japan as a region. And like that's great for a character like Hero, right? Where it's just like how many times how many times did he like just menu and like get a buff, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say that dude, that was like the fastest menu usage I've ever seen in my life. It felt like when he pressed menu, like it felt like the menu barely popped up and it looked like he was just doing a move.
Yeah.
Like when he downbeat, it looked like he pressed downbeat and it's just like, whoop, zzz, like he's just like already instantly doing, like it's just a move. Like
to the point where you were expecting certain moves, like certain menu moves in every interaction. Like sometimes he'd get buffed twice before actually interacting. And it's just like, that's where this character is actually a problem. That was crazy, especially in some of these matchups like Pac-Man. Pac-Man has to set up too. So if you're gonna set up, and it's gonna be kind of fucking scary.
He had that like speed reading thing, like he would just pick his options so fast, but he also did the juke out, which I love with the menu. Like you highlight psych up, and then they come at you and try to stop you, and you switch to Hatchet Man or whatever, then they're coming at you and you're winding up. Dude, it's so cool. I love watching this character. I would not want to fight this character at a top level by any means. Fuck that. That sounds so stressful and terrible. But watching it, I had such a blast. Man. He made the character look so fun. Neutral B is insane. Fully charged neutral B is nuts.
He prioritized charging it over the menu almost every time, and that's really cool.
It's a guaranteed thing, right? Because you pull up the menu, it might flop. Honestly,
consistency in a tournament,
exactly, and it has the same effect. It forces people to approach. It gives you an option. It can kill. Like so now, if you have neutral B and then you get a psych up, they're like, as your opponent, it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? This is lunacy. Like to fight against this. And the Hatchet Man to beat Zackray, by the way, that was maybe the best menu usage we've ever seen in this game. Like I think straight up, it probably was.
That was typical Hero fashion to win a tournament set. That was the most Hero thing to ever happen.
It's like it was also just being a good player too, right? Like that was some Hero whateverness, right? But like what Habs is saying, like it was like the menu management as well on top of that, right? Like it's definitely like, you know, he got some crits and other stuff like that, but like still like the mind game behind the menu pool, like Zackray tried to contest that. Zackray, I don't know if he might have only read what he was currently on. Maybe he didn't read the other options next to it, but like that like next level mind game, and that's why like obviously Hero can be frustrating to like play against and the RNG and all that stuff, but like I think it adds such a cool like flavor of like tech to the, or not tech, but like a mechanic to the game where it's like we've never seen that before, right? So I definitely appreciated watching it.
I think too. Go ahead, Gavin. No, you're good,
the
bro.
Basic things, other than like Hero specific stuff that I really appreciated from his gameplay, I was getting like some Dabuz vibes when he was in the corner. He would just stand there or like crouch there, shield, and he's like, you want to throw me off stage again? Sure, but I'm not dying. I'm going to make this stock. I'm going to get the most of my stock here. And then the Hero specific stuff that went with that is if you threw him off stage, try to get a menu, Accelerado, okay, cool, grab the ledge. Now I'm getting out of the corner free because I don't have to take a risk of getting hit by anything because you can't catch me now.
I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
So, or not even Accelerado. He's another out. He's Zoom. Just go right back to the stage.
Yeah, that too. It's like, like I will take a couple throws. I will take multiple throws just to play it safe here and get what I need to make the most out of this stock. I really appreciated that aspect of his gameplay for sure.
That dude's up B usage was OD.
Yes.
I always felt like people were sleeping on his up B.
The hop ones, bro.
When he charged them, like before he landed, because you're holding shield on him, so good. Because who cares if you parry? Who cares?
Yeah, and you mostly use the neutral B, like if you're about to land on a platform after you've already burned your double jump.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, this is checkmate, you're gone. Like when he broke T's shield at 20%, I was like, oh, he's about to fully charge F smash. And he was like, nah, I need to do side B here because that kills. And I was like,
that's what I was thinking. The side B killed at 20. You're right.
Yeah, dude, that game was bullshit. That game was crazy. Was that the game that also had like the
what's the
spike?
side B?
The lightning. If you fully charge it, it does like 40 or 30 or something like that.
Right,
It kills
the lightning thing. Yeah,
Ben,
yeah.
and then
It's like turnaround Warlock Punch. It's so strong.
Waft.
It waft. It does use a ton of mana.
Exactly.
The fully charged one uses like 50 or 60. It's like crazy how much mana it uses.
Yeah.
But
So
damn,
he even got a spike versus T.
He did. Yeah.
Like while he was down. That move sucks ass.
Yep.
Especially for edge guarding. That move is really hard to land, and he hit Pac-Man with it. Like,
yeah.
That's like such a basic like oh my god, the spike happened. But dude, like I was just surprised I got to see a hero spike that tournament, despite how many hero sets I was watching. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
not only does Hero Spike suck, but that's the best Pac-Man in the world, and Pac-Man has an incredible recovery.
Yeah,
like how do you
one of
make
the
all
hardest
that
characters
happen?
to edge guard
if you get a hit on Pac-Man's recovery, I'm like, yo, I'll give you the set win for that. Good job. So
I was actually I was watching that set with Void, and Void pointed out he pointed out that worked because like usually, you know, when you try to spike a Pac-Man, they're coming like straight, like from underneath straight up to the ledge, but T was a little out, so you had to like up B and then drift in. So he's holding left to drift into the stage, so you down air him and he's DIing away from his trampoline, because he would have to DI right to go back to his trampoline, but that means he wouldn't be drifting to ledge. So those are like these are like the really cool niche smash situations where it's like, you know, a lot of other fighting games don't have like DI, right? But it's like in this situation, he had to DI left because he had to get to ledge, right? So, and even like that's even when like top players have sus DI and like everyone's just like, wow, how did that player have like that bad DI? Like sometimes you catch someone dashing back, or you catch someone like tech rolling in, and then you hit them with a forward smash dash direction, and they just tech rolled and pressed left. You know what I mean? So you're catching specific kinds of weird DIs or bad DIs because of the like situation that was happening before, because they had to like use, you know, because it's essentially like overlapping like the fact that you move with this and you DI with this like same control stick, that these kind of interactions happen. And it was like so cool, and it was really cool that like Void pointed out, because it's like I said, it's like we were talking about this whole time, it's really hard to gimp Pac-Man, right? Because usually you just hit him right back on the trampoline, but that was a very specific scenario where hero could dare and get the kill there, and the fact that hero knew that and got the dare was so sick. Like one of the few openings he could get that shitty downers, like, and he fucking got a stock with it. Like that's so hype.
Yeah, dude, T's advantage state that whole tournament. T won that set despite like all the hero craziness.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Maister vibes a lot of the time. 80, 100 damage, and I just won't stop hitting you. Oh, and you're actually dead too. I'm like, dude, this is Pac-Man. Like,
Tweek
oh my
was getting
god.
so hyped with the angled up forward tilt. He was like, angled up forward tilt, like from the Galaga.
Yeah, during the Galaga combos, he'd like angle up forward tilt, and I'm like, bro. Like,
what about... And I think this is such a thing with like just watching top level offline play, is there aren't like stupid drop combos and stuff, and you can actually see the full extensions of combos in this game and how crazy they can get. The bounce combo off of the Galaga ship, by the way, oh my god, dude, that was incredible, right?
Mm-hmm. And like the edge guard, the crazy edge guards too, man.
It was so fun.
Accelerado plus forward air is very great. Because you can cover the air dodge ins. It's kind of like Bowser forward air, where like it does, even if you're a little close, like it'll hit you like maybe even like from behind.
Oh, it hits from behind. It definitely does.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten hit by that many times. I hate Bowser's forward air. I hate that move so much, dude.
Speaking
that move
from
is
experience,
carried as
I
fuck.
see.
I hate that. I hate that move.
Yeah,
fuck that move, dude. It's so carried.
There's so many moves that like cover spot dodges just because they're so active too. It's like they do it before like a spot dodge happens. It's like, oh, who cares?
Who would have thought that Hero versus Pac-Man was going to be the most hyped sets?
Dude, I know. That like goes against like my like my character, like as a human being. Like I should hate this.
I'm about to go to sleep. It's Hero versus Pac-Man, and I just hear my phone. I'm like, yo, what is happening? Go. And I'm like,
you're missing on the most hype set.
Yeah, I was
Unbelievable.
hyped. Like I was hyped, dude.
Me too. Every set, man. Every set was so fun. You didn't want to miss it. And I kept saying, I'm going to bed. Like, this one doesn't seem that fun. I started watching it. Nope, never mind. One stock. Hell yeah. 0 to death instantly. Okay, well, I guess I'm watching. I guess I'm staying up until 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I was anyway, so.
Clutch.
And like, I feel like not a lot of people realize this, and this is one of the bigger reasons why, like, you know, online super hype. You know, obviously, just seeing Smash or whatever, but like seeing players in an offline environment where they are fully confident to go for like these crazy edge guards, these things that are just like out of this world, right? Like it's hard to capture that in a Wi-Fi tournament, because like even that bell throw into like T forward airing him into the bell stun, and then he like forward airs him after and kills him, right? Like, would T have done that on Wi-Fi if the connection was kind of bad or kind of not close to offline, right? Like, is he confident to go for an edge guard like that, where like if he misses, he gets reversaled and dies, right? Or so like in a Wi-Fi environment, it's like, I think I'll take the Wi-Fi ledge trap. You know what I mean? Like I'll like kind of poke out something and then like try to fish for like a forward smash on ledge or something like that, right? But like when you give players like the consistency of offline play, where it's like, oh, all of my combos are like, it's only on me. Like if there's no stutter's gonna mess up this combo, or no stutter's gonna mess up this edge guard, and I just get like reversal or die. You get to see them play with like utter confidence, and like to see that manifest was like, it's just, we haven't seen that in so long. So it was just like, it's so cool. And obviously like these offline tournaments like have been going on for like a decent amount of time, right? But I don't know, this one just like, it was just so fun to watch. Maybe it was because it was like a little different, because like, you know, some of the upsets, like the hero, obviously, like you had that, like, I feel like for a banger top 8, it's like you gotta have specific upsets, right? And then you gotta have like this one crazy character come out of nowhere, and everyone's like, what the heck is going on?
You just need a little bit of all that.
Yeah, you need the top players in there too to make it legitimate. So it can't just be like, this tournament was a shit show. Who knows what happens? Like, who cares? Like,
count.
Like, like T winning.
Order.
Yeah, exactly. T winning and Zackray being there was perfect. You know, like we needed kind of those storylines. But dude, I totally agree. That was, like I said, I wanted to go to bed so much. I ordered a coffee at 4 a.m. I was like, I gotta stay up. I gotta keep watching. It was Dunkin's. I had to do it, man. I had to do it. I had to stay up, man. I couldn't miss that shit. Watching the VODs isn't the same, dude. It's not the same.
It's crazy. You definitely mentioned that we needed to have all those like Zackray and stuff there, but there was a lot of talent there. Like a very large amount of talent. Proto wasn't there, unfortunately. I
thought he was, and he got jammed, is what I thought.
No, he was not there.
Oh, he didn't make it. Okay, that's good. So
anyone else you could probably think of was?
Yeah, Ken was there. Kamei was there. Raito was there. Alba was there. Umeki got blasted. I don't know what happened.
Past Aramon.
Yeah, everyone was there except Proto.
That's great. And Japan's such a top-loaded region in terms of just like, there's not like really big skill gaps like between their like top and high level players. So it's like, dude,
there's a couple
Japan tournaments are really hard.
There's a couple people that weren't there, but a lot.
T the letter, not the T.
Link T.
Yeah, Link T. There you go. That's a good one.
But it was still a very large talent pool. And a lot of them just got smoked.
Yeah, very interesting.
Is that the best of one pool stuff too? I can't remember if this tournament. I kind of jumped in like top 16. It was 3 the whole time.
Cool.
Yeah,
I got no excuses, man. This shit's crazy.
Best of one pool, dude.
They do it sometimes. They do some shit.
The coolest part about that tournament was, it was as if like, I know there's probably a little bit here and there, but I don't know. I kind of expected like to see more spotlight from like the season 2 fighters, but I was seeing Hero, which was like, that character was like from a while back.
We actually didn't see that much.
He was the main spotlight rather than like Pyramithra or Sephiroth or Min. Like, you saw very minimal Sephiroth and Pyramithra compared to the Hero, which is interesting. It's like I got took back like a few months or a year or something. It was really cool.
Yeah, where was the Steve, man?
Yeah, no Steve. Like, so it was unexpectedly hype for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like you guys said, some of the matchups, you look at them on paper, literal snooze fest. But nope, not yesterday or this morning.
The way they played it was they just played so damn good. Like I feel like no matter what, when you just watch optimal Smash, because like they're even like neutral defensively, like they were still playing really well, but like when anyone landed a hit, dude, they like optimized it super super hard. They went like really hard off stage, optimizing edge guards, like that is something, no matter what character you're watching, like you can always just watch that and just appreciate the sheer amount of like time and skill it takes to do that, to like get to that point, to be that precise, to be that confident in that kind of stuff. And you just watch that and you're just like, you have to appreciate it, right? Like no matter, even if you like hate the character, like that is just something that's just like, damn, like that takes so much time and effort to be able to like execute something like that. Like damn, you got to respect it, and you just appreciate it, right?
Yeah, it's like when Tweek posts clips of Diddy. I hate it so much, but I also have to appreciate it because it's so nice. I hate Diddy so much, but I'm just like, it doesn't matter. This is sick. Like, it doesn't matter. And that's like the bottom line with Smash. And I think that's all what we really appreciate about it. At the end of the day, there's so much cool shit you could do in this game in order to take a stock or win a set or win a game or whatever. So, and yesterday was an amazing display of that, especially with the hero and like the new kind of PT play that we saw. It was just amazing. It was just amazing.
Another unexpected thing, like I didn't expect to see a PT player beat the best R.O.B and Pac-Man in the same tournament. Like obviously T won the tournament over him in Grands, but Atelier won the winner set. So
getting that W was very impressive.
Impressive as
in
fuck.
That matchup.
Impressive as fuck.
And in the like state that he was in, because he like
the winner set was
smoked.
It was rough.
Getting smoked. He like just SD, like he's down 3 stocks to 1. He was like like took a deep breath and just pulled the Leo and like, all right, I win. Like I
just bring in the cabbage puppy.
Yep. And then game 5, he made him look like a little baby. It was weird. Like it was like
you had was like a bunch of grabs just off like knowing what you're gonna do. I was like, wow, if you're getting grabbed by Ivy this consistently, you lose.
Yeah, you're done.
Like
you're so done.
They have the advantage, a clear advantage. Very impressive.
I know for sure, like me personally, if I'm down that much, I SD'd like multiple times during the set. Like I feel like I threw it away, and I'm fighting Pac-Man, like all that stuff combined, I'm like, take me out. I'll
it's
come
not
back.
Worth it anymore, dude. I'll get him next tournament.
Next tournament is always an option.
It's like I have composure. Dang, that's crazy.
You guys don't like fighting Pac-Man? I love fighting Pac-Man. I was saying this in chat last night too. I love fighting Pac-Man. He's great to fight. Great character.
I like fighting Pac-Man with spacies.
Chill.
I think he's fun to fight. Dude, T was doing his thing where he's holding a bell and just running back and forth. But
that is hilarious, dude.
I can't tell if that is a genius player or like the bell like turns off his brain. Because like he'll like get the bell and it'll just be like spot dodge, dash back, dash forward, dash back, roll, spot dodge, throw bell, and it lands. And I'm like, that makes literally no sense. I don't understand what went through your brain to come to this conclusion, but you knew it would land after doing 8 spot dodges and 3 rolls. Like
all right.
He's a genius, dude. He's a genius. He's got to be. He knows that I think it's mostly like an awareness thing. Like everyone is so fucking scared in that moment, especially because Pac-Man has the bell, so therefore he's kind of controlling the flow of everything.
Yeah.
So he's like, whatever, I'm gonna do whatever I want because you're gonna be too scared to kind of act here. So once you do something, I'm gonna throw the bell at you and I'm gonna end the game. And you always have to be. It's kind of like Diddy, honestly, with the bananas is how I feel about it.
So
like,
much control. Yeah.
Control's a great word for it, but. T's been in that position. I don't know how many times I've seen it personally on streams and in VODs. Many times. And then obviously many times off stream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude, fuck that.
I remember at Frostbite, this is actually funny. Like, I just had like seen it so much and like, I don't know if it's because I'm playing the matchup, but I'm just like playing Wolf and he's like doing the dash shit with the bell. I sat in the middle of PS2 and didn't move. I just sat there.
Stood my ground.
I would shield. I would sometimes unshield, turn around, shield again, just to threaten the grabs and whatnot. But I was like, nope. I refuse to fucking play your game right now. I will just stand here.
Dude, the T normal getup.
Oh yeah.
Me and Gavin were talking about this when we were watching it last night. I was like, dude, T does this normal getup at a very specific timing, and like I don't know if he's trying to fish for something, because there's so many times where I'm watching the situation, I'm like, a top player, like if they decided to do normal get up there, like the guy's already charging forward smash. So like he's either nervous, so he's just like autopiloting it, and he's not realizing that his opponent's literally charging an F smash. So do not normal get up into the F smash, right? But it's like this very specific timing where it's like runs his intangibility, waits about like half a second to a second, then normal gets up. It's like around that time, and like Tweek literally forward smashed him multiple times in at Frostbite for this, and like Atelier also got it too on T multiple times like that, and like he's like already charging forward smash, like Wolf's like, oh, and then like T's just like, oh, I'm gonna normal get up, and boom. And like I don't know if that's like a nerve thing, or maybe he's trying to fish for like a very specific normal get up reversal, like, oh, I'm gonna normal get up, hope he misses it, shield, back throw him kind of deal. But like, oh man,
even if he got the neutral get ups off, he was definitely fishing after the fact too. It's definitely something to the point where we were just labeling it the T neutral get up. But in grand finals, T really cleaned it up. Like,
yes,
regardless of the reset,
regardless
of the reset, he cleaned it up a lot. Some great parries against the Wolf. When Atelier was going PT, really showed a lot of the strengths in the matchup that we were talking about earlier. Really cleaned it up. And beating a Wolf in any fashion with Pac-Man is very impressive.
So
that
hard.
matchup is terrible. Like, to the point where if you don't play Wolf and you're playing a Pac-Man, you might consider it. Like, it's like, wow, it's a bad matchup.
Probably Pac-Man's worst, like top tier matchup. It could be also like just Pac-Man's worst matchup period too. Like I think, and we were talking about this because like Palu's kind of up there too, but like the thing about Palu is your reflector isn't like, you can't hold it. Like being able to hold a reflector against Pac-Man specifically is very, very strong, because you can't like bait out a counter / reflector and then like punish from there, right? Like you have the mix of just like, I'm gonna keep holding this reflector. So it's like that, oh god, like just everything about Wolf is just shits on Pac-Man. You can Atelier was playing so well at the very beginning where he was like blaster camping him, but like I feel like Wolves kind of like get into this cycle. I think it's a general Wolf thing where like you're laser camping and then you start getting really good aerials, right? Because you're like laser camping, you condition shield, you get a couple grabs, right? And then you kind of get them to force, like most characters don't want to air Wolf, but you kind of force that interaction from the other player because they don't want to get blasted and they don't want to get grabbed, right? So they're like, okay, now I'm going to try to like be more air based. Then you start winning air to air, right? And then I think most Wolves, they like win air to air and they're like, yo, I am fucking this guy up. I am naring him. I'm getting my tech chases. I'm getting fat. I'm like getting falling fares. Like, dude, I am the GOAT right now. I just hit him with fair back air. Like, it's over, dude. I'm so good. And then they stay in that mode.
Lasering. They stop
blastering because they think they're goated. They think they're goated, and they're like, yo, man, I'm so good at this game, bro. I'm beating this guy air to air. And then like all of a sudden this person's like starts running away, starts fading back. They start shielding, right? And then it's all of a sudden like, wait, what's happening to me? And you're just getting shitted on. And it's like Atelier was doing such an amazing job at the beginning, blastering, and then like he stopped doing that. And dude, it's like crazy too, because
I was watching it live, and I'm just like, no, it's happening.
The gun, bring out the gun. Like, dude, he had to work so hard to get stocks. It was insane. How, like, I think Tweek even mentioned this earlier. How does Pac-Man kill Wolf? Like, it's so hard for Pac-Man to get the kill on Wolf. And it was like, there's even one time where it's like, T got 3 parries in a row. Like, T was playing so well. He got so many parries, and like, all he got was a back throw. And it's like back throw, potential ledge trap, forward tilt. Like, maybe that'll kill. Like, forward tilt or back air. And then after that, Wolf got back on stage. I'm like watching. I'm like, dude, T is outplaying him so hard right now. But the matchup and like how his character kills Wolf, it's just like so bad that it's just like, damn, how do you, like, you're playing so well, but you really have to like nail the ledge trap afterwards. Like, you not only do you have to play well in that interaction, you have to play like super well in the next upcoming interaction. Yeah, like it's crazy, and he still like won. Like, so very impressive gameplay.
All right, so we're probably gonna call it. We'll talk to you guys for a couple minutes if you want. I think this podcast went really well. We had some great topics today. Yeah. No rambling. I don't think we kind of just got to it.
Hell yeah. More from Marcus, as YouTube comments suggested, which is great. I agree. More Marcus is great in my book.
You guys
Let's
need to
pink.
talk at all
Let's go
times.
It's all talking at the same time, and they just gotta try to decipher who's saying what.
Let's do that in post. Let's just overlap all the voices and just see what happens.
Blah, 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 blah.
On April Fools, we're just gonna post like a podcast where we're all just talking at once on Spotify. Someone's gonna be doing like their daily workout, and they're just like, I can't listen to this.
This hurts, yeah. Take off the bows. That's it. I think too in chat, like honestly, it was a suggestion from chat to talk about the top 10 players and what they're really good at. So, chat, if you guys have suggestions, obviously you guys are the consumer, so hearing from you guys is really good. And even if it's something we don't cover now, having things ready for the next episode is really good. So, if you guys have anything you want to throw out there, you want to hear from Tweek especially, obviously, and then you have the three of us as well to support. So, where's Larry? I don't know, not on this show, thank God. Next,
I hate that guy.
He's like the nicest guy. Did you see I retweeted him breaking that melee disc recently? I was just bored.
No.
I was like, this should be fun. Snap that melee disc in half.
Larry's actually like 10 out of 10 human being.
Yeah,
like,
I love Larry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Larry hits different, bro.
Larry's like the definition of a Smash fit.
Yeah.
He rules, dude. I'm such a fan.
Central America's tonight, right? For a Smash World Tour?
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think it's South America, right?
I actually have a Medify coaching lesson in like 30 minutes.
Oh shit! All right, let's keep it going. Let's get the whole squad on there.
Well, wait a minute. Well, so if you think Tweek is good at this game and you would like advice, you can check him out on Medify.
All right, let's plug that real quick and then we'll call it.
Medify plug.
Kevin does not sell out. Like he does not shill at all. It's like
And I'm here to tell him to do it.
I was gonna say I think that's our job. Is
the coach's job. Okay, so at the beginning of the stream, there's a lot more of you here now. We're actually on Spotify now. The first episodes 1 through 9 are all on Spotify now. Like search up Tweek Talks, like Tweek Space Talks. You should find it. We just started it, so let me know how that is for you guys. And I'm also on Medify now. It's like a coaching service. It's in my Twitter bio. There's a link in the chat right now. If you want to play Smash with me, there's a couple options. You can play Smash Me for like half an hour. You can play Smash Me for an hour. We can do Discord calls, or I can give you advice, blah, blah, blah. Basically anything you want. If you want to play against a specific character of mine, anything. But yeah, that's been going really well. I've done a couple lessons and it's been great. So if you guys are ever interested in that, feel free to check it out. Other than that, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to you guys for doing the podcast with me as always. Episode 10.
Woo!
We're a real podcast now, guys.
Double digits, baby.
Double digits is huge. Getting 10, honestly, truly, and this is the thing, for Smash, getting better Smash or anything, having consistency is so important, man. And you guys have been crushing it on that. So kudos and keep it going.
Yeah.
Is this like the longest running Smash podcast?
Probably.
There's been a lot of great Smash podcasts,
but a lot of them, but they
kind of just they're not consistent. It's kind of just and it's like I remember I did a podcast with I remember Nakat and Virum. That one was super fun. I loved it, but we just weren't consistent enough. And Dom, there's a lot of great people in that podcast. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I really like this crew and we're staying consistent. So I think consistency is something that a consistent podcast is.
My
something
dream
that Smash
is to have at least an episode or two at an actual tournament somehow when offline
dude,
come back. Yeah,
come back having these because we do them on Saturday. So imagine just being in a hotel room and then we can have whatever guests.
What if we have our own setup at the venue, bro? What if we have our own setup?
Oh my goodness!
What if
we can hook it up at Shine? Shine has booths that you can rent out and stuff. We could easily do it at Shine.
That sounds hype.
Yo, imagine we rent out the stage late at night or something, the main stage of the venue, and let's say it's a 24-hour venue. People can watch it live. We can stream it at the same time.
Oh my god, we can interact with chat right there live on the spot. Not that we can't do that now, but in person is so much different, man. Oh shit, Tweek's thinking. I like it. This is hype, dude.
That's what
Hell yeah.
That's what I need right now.
This podcast saved 2021. True.
But if we do something less ridiculous, in a hotel room or something, that's fine too. In person is always cool. So
yeah, I agree. Wow, that's something to look forward to. Truly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now I thought I couldn't want offline more, but here I am.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. Holy shit. Nice.
Live audience Q&A, dude. Like, imagine shit like that.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be crazy. When's the merch, dude? All right, we're talking. We are talking right now.
Now we're cooking. Hell yeah.
See you guys next week. As always, we upload the VODs to YouTube on Monday. I'll probably get it on podcast on Spotify probably tomorrow or Monday. Probably tomorrow. So feel free to check that out too. But I hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to go do this Metafy lesson. I'll probably stream Smash later tonight too, so we're busy. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.
Peace.
Later, chat.